The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online.
Don't change that dial, ladies and gentlemen. This is not Glenn Rivers speaking. This is Scott Lewis. I am here for another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. I know my voice sounds a little fucked up, but we gonna do what we gonna do, man. That's first day in 2 weeks. That it doesn't hurt when I talk. So we're gonna try to get through this as smooth as possible. But it is your boy Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. You can follow the Barberchair Network at BarberchairNet on Twitter and Instagram. Follow H&B Media, H&B Media TV on Twitter, and H&B Media on Instagram, man. And, of course, get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. Visit pillarsclub.co or go to Instagram, pillars_club, or visit any of their 3 store locations in the Chicagoland area. It is Friday, May 3rd, 2024. It has been a long 2 weeks, to say the least. I have had the 2 weeks from hell, to say the least. So I just want to use my sound off today to thank everybody who has tweeted me, DM'd me on Instagram. I've had people who I've never had any interactions with y'all, but y'all are fans of the show, whether this show or 7 Nights in Hollis, and y'all reached out to me, all y'all kind words when I was in the hospital last week, and everybody who, just showed any love these last week or two when I've been going through what I've been going through. Big shout out to my team, Dante, Bang, Courtney, and Mikey for holding it down last week with the NFL draft special that went down there, even though I couldn't be involved in it. So I appreciate y'all for holding me down, man. So, but pretty much just to inform everybody, I don't really care about keeping it real about what's going on. I had the flu, and then I will say this to people out there, man. If you have prescriptions, your prescriptions are there for a reason. Now, I've been doing a lot of moving around in between cities, in between Los Angeles and Chicago, and I kind of forgot to take my shit. I'm just gonna keep it real. And then when your body tells you that you need to take your stuff, so I had that, and then I was dealing with tonsillitis, which I'm dealing with right now, which is why I sound the way I sound. And last week I was short of breath, couldn't breathe, spent about 5-6 hours in the emergency room during the NFL draft. And man, so everything has been, it's been a battle these last couple weeks trying to get back to 100%. Been a little sleep deprived as well. I still ain't really had a full night of sleep in about 2 weeks with everything going on, but I'm doing better. My voice might sound messed up, but it doesn't hurt when I talk. And it has been hurting when I've been talking the last couple weeks. It's the best I've felt and sounded in a while, man. So that's why I wanted to at least do a show, and give y'all a little bit of a content, because there's been a lot of stuff. We basically missed the whole first round of the playoffs, man. So we're gonna have a big show today. Courtney and Mikey will be joining later in the show. Bang might be joining the show too. He's on a work/vacation right now, so he might be joining us later on in the show. I'm going to bring in today's crew. Going to bring in the homie Dante, bring in the homie Pavi, and of course the homie Mike Willis. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, very solid, bro. Yeah, I'm glad to be black. Always glad to be black, but glad to be back. You definitely sound crazy as hell, but we back working. We about to get to it, bro. We gonna make it happen.
Hey man, you gotta play. It's the playoffs. The playoffs, dog. If you medically cleared to play, you gotta go out there and play.
Doc Rivers out the playoffs, dog, but we gonna hit this show.
Pav, how's it going? How's it feel to be back on American soil?
Oh damn! We ain't done a show since I came. Yeah, man, it's been good, man. London might have been one of the best as far as weeks of my life. That was the top week of my life. London was fire. Vegas was fire.
That's crazy.
London was fire. Vegas was
to
fire.
know the top weeks of your life is crazy.
But yeah, man. Yeah, man. It feels good. It feels good.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
No, for real, it's one of the top weeks of my life, man. Top weeks of my life. I met
That's
women
a hell of a
from all
fucking
over.
week.
I met women from all over the world.
Most people say the best day of my life. My man said the best week of my life. Jesus, that's a hell of a fucking week.
It's one of them. It's up there. It's definitely in like the top 10.
Oh, and what's the other? There about some other
I
London
had to
weeks
like
too.
think. No, the first Europe trip I took is up there for sure. What else is up there as far as best weeks of my life? I would have to like think about it, but like the last week of high school is up there as far as best weeks of my life. I would have to think about it, but like I definitely know some weeks that's like, yeah, that was a pivotal week.
All right. Dante is gonna give us the Rolodex of topics that we got today. So I'm gonna give the floor to you.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, our boy Scott has been down for a while, so we've missed a lot of important shit. So let's kick it off with number 5. Are we in the final days of Inside the NBA?
By the way, this list
everybody know?
By the way, this list is top 5 non-bear stories since I was dead. That's the name of this list.
That is the name of this list. But no, at number 5, bro. Are we in the last days of Inside the NBA? As we all know, the NBA licensing rights are up for the broadcast, and it's a bidding war. And TNT may be gracefully bowing out and saying, you know what, it's not worth it. Y'all got it. And if they do that, that's when the contracts start to come in. Of course, Ernie Johnson is still under contract with TNT. I know Chuck has an out clause, so I'm pretty sure that means Shaq and Kenny have one somewhere too. So we could potentially be in the final season. Well, next year would be the last year we see this amazing crew that's been, Emmy Award winning for over 15 years. We actually see them together. So, we're going to start with Scott. I know you preserving your voice. So we're going to let you kick off the topics. How you feeling right now about this?
I mean, this is a story I've been paying attention to for the last couple months. I've been paying attention to all these like streaming rights and things like that. And NBC coming back into the picture was something that a lot of NBA fans want, really just because of the old 90s, 2000s nostalgia with, the old NBC theme song and Bob Costas and shit like that, which is cool. But I don't want it enough to where we have to give up inside the NBA. And it really feels like this is something that probably might happen. David Zaslav, who is the CEO of Warner, who owns TNT and TBS, and he said like a year or two ago that they don't need the NBA. That's exactly what his words were, and that he feels that the company will be fine without it, and doesn't really know if they will counter the offer that NBC has. Now, this is the first time that they have had an offer that they haven't negotiated without their exclusive negotiation window, which is why I feel like this is something that's probably gonna happen. Ernie's already contractually still with Turner. He does stuff with NCAA. He does stuff with MLB. He's gonna be there regardless. Chuck is gonna be a free agent, and then Chuck was also on Dan Patrick this morning saying that there's probably gonna be a decision made today of whether or not Warner's going to match that contract. And he said being a worker's been nervous because they don't really know what's going to go on. My prediction, I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's a wrap. I don't think they're going to counter. I think it's going to be Amazon, NBC, and ABC, Disney companies. Those are going to be the ones carrying these NBA games after next season. And I think next year is going to be the Swan Song, which is messed up because it's such a legendary show. I can't remember my time of being an NBA fan not watching inside the NBA. So it's definitely gonna be something I miss if it comes to that. And a lot of people like, well, it can be a bidding war, and you can, maybe replace Ernie with somebody. You can't replace Ernie, bro. If you don't have that 4, and on top of that, if you don't have a production crew, and just because Warner let them get away with murder doesn't mean NBC is gonna let them get away with murder. Doesn't mean Amazon's gonna let them get away with murder. So if they can't have the same format they used to have, there's no point in having it anymore. So I think that we really probably are going to be approaching, this is the second to last NBA playoffs with this squad, man. So I'm really interested to see what that, announcement is going to be when it does come.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, how you feeling, bro?
If, it goes to it. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Even if it goes to another network and things like that, will they have the same leeway? It's like a star player going to another team, and it's like, yeah, well, on this team, your family could hop on the plane, your guys are here, this and that and the third. But if you go to this team, no, I'm not allowing that. Like you said, on TNT on turn, they get away with murder. They say whatever the hell they want. They cursing, they can, all the jokes. Someone might pass head, not real people know. And it's like we always lose recipes. Like that's like this cast of people is like part of the culture at this point. Like I'm saying, award this show. So who's this? It's like for them to say, oh, we don't need it. Yeah, that's all what our statement says. Well, but to actually lose this core group of people, that's a bad look, and you're going to take a hit. You know what I'm saying? That's like anything. Like these guys are driving in the money. They always talking about like what Stephen A. Smith will be on every show, but they sending Chuck and them to do NCAA tournaments. Them niggas probably ain't watch a college game, and I don't know how long. You know what I'm saying? So they're out doing everything, but they just work well together. Like you could see them doing their own thing, but they just work well as a core group, and I believe it'd be a big hit. Like Scott said, I think it is going to happen, especially if they don't counter offer. So not a good look for TNT for that.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're going to swing it to our local NBA correspondent, Pappy. Pappy, how you feeling, bro?
I mean, as far as TNT goes and them losing the rights, obviously it's going to be a big hit for them, because what else do people watch TNT for outside of like the NBA? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the MLB playoffs comes on, TNT TBS, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so sports is really the main driver of TNT TBS, and it has been for the last, 25 years, probably since I first started watching basketball. So yeah, obviously they're going to take, a huge hit, I would think. But I think, I don't know what they have planned, but I'm sure they'll figure out something else, and to at least try to like supplement and replace some of the money. As far as the show ending, all good things have to come to an end. If it ends, it'll be sad to see it go. You have so many legendary moments of the cast. Even like the legendary games, like the Gone Fishing pictures, legendary. The who he played for, legendary. The Rockets Clippers story when they ran into the locker room, legendary. Like there's been so many legendary moments with this cast. So if it goes, obviously it'll be very unfortunate. But again, all good things come to an end. We are in a new era of broadcasting and of viewership watching. And I think as far as like the nostalgia that people think, I don't think it's going to be the same level of nostalgia that you're going to think it is. I think a lot of the games going to be on Peacock probably, and you're going to have to pay to even watch these games.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be the same level of like, oh, you just cut on NBC and you hear the same music and you got Bob Costas there. That's not what's going to be happening. But it is an opportunity maybe for, younger legends to, step up, and you have newer people who can, I guess, get their voices heard for like the next generation and the next 15, 20 years of NBA basketball, and the people who are younger than us and, maybe didn't grow up with this cast and with Inside the NBA can find like a new show that they gravitate to. And so it's, it's something that's unfortunate, but like I said, all good things have to come to an end. So if it ends, I guess it is what it is. Like they've held us down for long enough.
Yeah, nah, y'all all said everything that needed to be said. I think it's one of those situations that, Scott's been talking about it for a while, and it was just a matter of time, as these leagues continue. And we all know one of the biggest drivers for revenue and, paying the players are these TV contracts. So the NBA doesn't really care about all this shit we're saying about inside the NBA. It's about, the highest bidder, who's going to give them the most money to broadcast these games. So with that being said, a lot of times, especially we've seen it with Warner Brother and with all these other companies and the way that they've been doing business over the past 2 years. Like it's budget cuts everywhere. So, this is one of those things where it may be an unfortunate product of that. But at the end of the day, it's one of the greatest greatest NBA shows we've ever had. And like you said, it's been a staple for over 15 years. So it's something that we should really cherish. And if it is almost over, just enjoy the last few times we have them around us. So, that's our first topic. Let's slide right into our next one. We spoke a lot about needing a new era in the NBA, needing young stars to really be put on the main stage. And so far throughout the first round, they've been doing it themselves. So now we will officially have the first NBA second round without LeBron, KD, and Steph in a very long time, an extremely long time. So I'm gonna start with Pavi. How you feel about this? And is this something like exactly what we needed for the league to finally put the spotlight on these new young stars?
We'll see. Because I swear to God, they still gonna have a whole bunch of Lakers Warriors games next year on national television. Giannis gonna still be on there. The Bucks gonna see. The Giannis gonna still be on there. The Bucks, the Celtics gonna still, even though the Celtics still are pretty much a younger team, and you still trying to market Tatum. I'm sure we gonna have a lot of KD and Bron gonna still be a major matchup. So we will see. But yeah, I think it's great for the league. I think it's great for the league and even like look at the teams that we have like the second round. Like Timberwolves Nuggets is a second round series. Brother, the Timberwolves ain't been to the second round since 2004. Like you have other markets who finally get to be excited about basketball again, that have been craving for the Wolves have been bad after KG left for like 15 years. Like that market is cold all winter. You ain't got too much to do. You got to be in the house watching hoop. You can't be outside. It's not like it's LA where like it don't never get that cold, or like Miami where it don't never get that cold. You got to be in the house. Denver. I've never been to Denver. I don't know how much there is to do, defending champions, but you got to be in the house watching hoops. So you have some other markets who are smaller market teams, who usually don't have a spotlight on them, but whose fan bases really love basketball. OKC, the Thunder are finally good again. They were the number one seed. They have a young superstar in Shea, and also I think with the Thunder, because they dispose of the Pelicans so easily, I don't think people are giving the Thunder the credit that they actually deserve for being a good basketball team and realizing they may be in the Western Conference Finals. Like there's a real, like no matter who wins between Clippers, Mavericks, they may be in the Western Conference Finals. Even the Pacers, like Pacers, Knicks, throwing it back to the 90s, you got a Pacers Knicks series. That the Garden sounded like a fucking, I don't need like a damn European soccer stadium the whole time. Like the Garden was electric for that fan base to finally have, dare I say, the best player since Jalen Brunson is the best Knicks since Patrick Ewing. Shout out what Melo did, but Melo wasn't doing this shit. Melo wasn't doing this shit for back-to-back years. Jalen Brunson is the best Knicks since Patrick Ewing. Even, I know the Sixers lost, but even seeing Maxey do what he did, I think Maxey, I'm not going to jump off the boat and say Maxey is a superstar, but I will say Maxey is a guy who definitely raised his profile in these playoffs. So I think it's great. And forget the super old guys. You ain't even got Giannis in there. Giannis is out. Giannis ain't even play. So it's not even like the super, super old guys, like those guys who kind of took the torch from those other guys. Some of them guys getting cleaned up and sent clean up out the paint. So, I think it's a great and just exciting thing for the league, and also not just the league, but for some of these fan bases who have been basketball deprived and starved from quality basketball for the last 10, 15 years to finally, have something to really hang their hat on and get behind. And all these teams pretty much have some young stars that can be future pillars of the league. So I think it's a very cool time to be a basketball fan.
Yeah, definitely. Scott, we've been critical of NBA media for years now. How you feel about just the fact that now they don't have a choice. They have to put the spotlight on these young guys.
Yeah, that's why I like it, because Pavi's right. Next year, you're still going to get a lot of Steph versus LeBron. You're going to get a lot of KD versus LeBron, because they're going to those three are still the biggest stars in the league regardless. But I think them being forced to talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, being forced to talk about Anthony Edwards, being forced to talk about these other teams is good. And especially because the average fan who, I think we're kind of all average fans at this point. Like, I know I'm a casual NBA watcher at this point. And to be able to see them on a bigger scale, it's going to take a while for it to get to maybe the point where the NFL is now, where we don't really think about Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or that era quarterback anymore. But I do think that for it to be able to start now in this playoffs is a good thing, because in a couple of years from now, you'll already be adjusted to it. But I personally got tired of seeing them three niggas all the time. And, y'all know how I feel about Steph. Love Steph. I've been annoying LeBron for the last 20 years. I've been waiting for this for a long time. KD, he has a complicated legacy. Like, at this point, like, he should have stayed in Golden State, but that's a whole different discussion. He's going home in the first round now. All of them are. So it's just like now you're forced to talk about the younger guys. Like Anthony Edwards is a great story. What the Thunder are doing, great story. So I feel like the NBA, they can't just be on their usual, well, how will this affect LeBron's GOAT chase? You can't talk about that no more. So I think that's good, even though I do think it will take a couple of years for it's fully implemented into, the actual affecting the, the primetime lineups during the regular season.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, how you feeling, bro?
I mean, I agree with them too, but the only thing about it is they're never going to stop talking about those guys until all three of those guys are gone. And with the NBA, as long as one thing about the NBA, as long as you got the Knicks, Boston, LA, or what's the other team in Chicago in the playoffs, they're going to do just fine. Like this Knicks, the Knicks doing good, second seed, won the first round. People like, man, they could really be Boston. I know with Porzingis out and stuff like that, that's just a huge thing. But with the young guys, it's definitely a good look. The only thing that's hurting them is like some of the stars we have are in smaller markets. And just with our younger generation that's watching basketball, it's just attention spans. Oh, man, it's an OKC, it's Minnesota, things like that. I think I don't even think it would have taken them that long to grasp Ant-Man or SGA if they were in like New York, Miami, Boston, and things like that. Like Jason Tatum is getting, most of the hype in these playoffs now since the older stars are gone because he's in Boston. I don't think if he was playing in, OKC or something like that, it wouldn't be as much. Like SGA is going to be a top 3 MVP candidate. Maybe he can win. I don't think so, but he's going to be there. But these guys have talent. And with us older people going out, that's just part of all sports. All these older guys are going to move on. And this is the transition to the new guys. The new guys are always going to beat the old guys. It's like, get out of here. It's my league now, Grandpa. You know what I'm saying? So it gets everything excited. It's like a warm-up to the new generation, to what's about to come. You know what I'm saying? So now all right, LeBron and them headed out, but now we get Ant-Man. He's dunking on people. You get SGA getting the bucket super easy. You got Luka doing amazing thing. You got Jalen Brunson doing amazing things. So it's a good thing. It's going to take a little while. I would love to see how these guys going to be towards in a couple more years. Are they going to stay with their team, or are they going to go to a bigger market so they can make more money and things like that? Because now most of these young guys are looking at it as a business more than anything. But it's definitely exciting to see Ant-Man talking shit to, saying KD. That's his favorite player. That was the most exciting thing. He said, this is my favorite player, and I'm kicking his ass. He's old now. So it's not the same thing as Dylan Brooks saying something to LeBron. Like, he's like, nah, that shit weak. We need another star to do it. But the league, if Zion could get, stay healthy and things like that, it's going to be a struggle because you don't have that name, LeBron, Steph, KD, and things like that. But it's going to build up to it. Do the players now have what they have with the charisma, the whole NBA? No, but they can learn to get to that level and just be out there. Shay's doing it with the IG. We might not know him, but if you, like with these young people, social media is everything. So they know SGA. They like, man, they care more about his outfits than, what he's doing on the court. So I love Ant-Man talking shit and stuff like that. You getting notarized for these things. So I'm liking what the league is headed towards, but it's going to take a little minute though.
Yeah, I definitely agree with y'all. It's definitely going to take a little bit of time, but I think one thing we kind of overstate the whole passing of the torch. A lot of times we make it seem like it's some big ceremony. A lot of the times the young dude just come through and kick their ass and it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like we look up and that team that was once the dominant team is now, like we said, losing in the first round, not making the playoffs. I mean, we could be honest. The Lakers have been in the play in the last couple seasons, so it's been that slow but sure transition into the new era. And I think it's dope to see, bro. I think it's something that, as much as we've asked for it, we're going to get that. And so far, the young players have delivered, bro. Like Anthony Edwards, he's put on the show this entire playoffs, bro. I think that's somebody that being in Minnesota, he doesn't get that spotlight that he does. He just got the Sprite deal. And so, he's starting to get more national recognition, and that's starting to pay off for him. But I think as far as a league wide, you need to have his game as a basketball player being put on these stages. It's not just what he's doing off the court. So I think that's really something that's dope to see. And for me, with the older guys, like I've always been saying these last few months, bro, I know it's easy to quickly jump into the negative and be like, damn, man, it's over. But like, it's time to really start appreciating it, like, and just turning that page to, damn, bro, these dudes really did a lot. They did a lot for the league. They accomplished a lot in their careers. And like, I know now people are talking about, is KD going to, reunite with Steph in Golden State, which I don't know about that. But just really just letting them ride out the end of their careers without so much speculation and more just so appreciation for everything they've done. Because at the end of the day, if these three never win another championship, they still are three of the greatest of their generation. Bron, like we said, arguably the greatest ever. He'll go walk away with every record, that he's wanted, that he set out to break, and he's done that. So I think at the end of the day, it's perfect for the league. So, we'll get right back into our NBA topics in a second. But another topic that's been going on since Scott left, your boy Prime. He became, everybody's favorite head coach. We were all fake Colorado fans for about 4 weeks. That was a fun ride until they start getting their ass kicked. But as we entered the offseason, they ramped up the transfer portal again, and once again, Colorado's had a major turnover on their roster. Kids are finally getting interviewed about these turnovers, and some of the kids are giving their honest opinions. And of course, Prime being Prime, he's got online and said some things. Shador has gone out of his way to let it be known he didn't even know who these people are. So it's been a little back and forth about that. So how you feel? I'm gonna start with Scott. Scott, how you feel about everything's Prime been doing these last few days, and just the overall reaction and the perception around the Colorado program now?
Let's be very clear, I'm biased. I'm just going to get that out there. I'm very biased with this topic because I'm a Prime fan. Prime was one of my top 5 favorite athletes of all time, so I'll be biased. But all bullshit aside, I don't see that big of a deal. I think the going back and forth on Twitter was corny. He's a little bit too old for that as far as him personally. I don't want to see the head coach on his desk. And we know he's doing it from a desktop because he's old as hell, so he's not doing this on his phone. Going back and forth with teenagers is too much. Shador, I don't have a problem with. Shador's young. You got to stop acting like Shador is trash now because he said something that they didn't like. I don't think that, the transfer overhaul would be such a big deal if it wasn't because it was Colorado. That's to me why it's a big deal. There's transfer overhaul with a whole bunch of different programs. And everything that you can say about Deion, whether you like him or not, he's going to be flashy. He's going to be loud about things. That's just how he is. That's how he always been, whether he wins or whether he loses. Now, having said all that, they better win some games this year. They need to win more games than they won this year, or not he's going to start looking more crazy and getting more of the hit pieces that he's been getting right now. Am I mad at the kids for talking out? No. They're upset. They have a right to voice their opinion on what they feel about what Prime is doing. But I just feel like it's a lot of dead time right now, and people just are upset at Prime and, and just want to take any way to dig at him. That's just how I feel about it, with everything kind of just evolving him and his coaching career, period. Now, Prime brings a lot of that on himself. He could have easily just let it go and just let it sail out of bounds. Shador is going to back up his head coach, who just happens to be his father. So I'm not mad at that whatsoever. We got to stop acting like Shador's huff for something now just because he said something about these kids. But the pressure to win is going to jump up a tad this year because the antics aren't going to mean anything if they're not winning games on the field.
Yeah, no, definitely. Mike, how you feel about Colorado?
I'm a disagree with Scott just a little bit, and that's with the Prime, saying too old. No, fuck that. Any disrespect, there's no age limit to disrespect. If I feel like I'm disrespected, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, like, man, kids and shit like that is too soft. Oh, Coach Prime didn't even get to meet me. He didn't even get to know me. Talk to me. Man, shut that shit up, bro. If you were good, he's going to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. Like, most coaches like that. Your NBA coach, he's not worried about the motherfucking 10th, 11th man on the bench. We don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of them niggas don't even going to care about somebody on special teams. Let's just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a but nothing, you know what I'm saying, Coach Prime did. Like Scott said, this is Dion. He's going to talk shit back. With a win or loss, Dion is going to talk shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shador's not trash. Like, yes, he's going to take up for his son. I think Shador good as fuck. More than what other people think. I think he's very accurate as well. You know what I'm saying? They're going to fix the offensive line, and it's going to prove it a little bit more. But
Shador's going to be a top pick in this draft.
Yes, like he's easily going to be that. Like he's a very talented quarterback, and not just because he's Dion's son. Is it helping because he's Dion's son? Yes. It's nothing wrong with that. If that nigga was a bum and he got in the league because of Dion, yes, that's fine. Guess what? A lot of these people in the world, especially these white people, get a corporate job because their daddy used to work there. Like, let's keep it real. Like, people get mad at LeBron's son, like, oh, his son getting it. Yes. It's called an opportunity. Yes, like that's the privilege of it. It just they get mad when black people have that privilege. They don't like this strong black man, and everybody's coming to want to play for this strong black man, and he says what's on his mind. They want him to be quiet and shit like that. But I'm Deion Sanders. He's always been that. He wears chains. Like his son is showing the watch and shit like that. People are, oh my God, why like Deion used to come to the games, jewelry on. Like let's keep it real. So I don't necessarily think anything Deion said was wrong. I love the clapback. Yes, fuck you. Like, you want to talk shit? Like, my son's going to be top 5. What's your son going to be doing? Fucking raking leaves. That's what I would have said. I would have said something more disrespectful. So that's me. I don't think Deion said nothing wrong. I think Shador is going to be good. They do have to win games, but they blew a lot of games last year. Before that, they won 1 game. Now they're going to, you know what I'm saying, they won 4. Let's see if they can prove on that. I know they're in the Big 12 this year, so it's going to be a little bit different. So let's just see how it goes. But I don't see nothing what Deion said was wrong. And shit, I'll ride with Deion.
Pappy, how you feeling?
Better win some games. That's why, I mean, you can do what you want to do. Just win some games. I mean, obviously, he took over this team, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. They won 1 game the year before he took over, right? 1 game, if I'm not mistaken. So, obviously, the roster that he took over obviously wasn't a good roster. I know you bring Travis Hunter, who was the number 1 recruit in high school, over. You bring your son over. So, obviously, you know, I think people had bigger expectations than probably what they should have had for this team. But he even said, like, yo, I got to go out and I got to go get my guys. Didn't Shador break his fucking back last year? Like, literally had like a cracked vertebrae because he kept getting sacked. Yeah. So, like,
he broke his ribs.
Yeah, like, so, like, you got to go out and you got to go get your guys. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with it as far as a Twitter back and forth. I mean, that's a matter of preference and who you are as a human being. I'm somebody who I don't go back and forth with people in general about anything ever. I'm definitely probably
you don't go back and forth with people in real life.
I don't go back and forth with people in like real life, so I wouldn't do it. But I'm not Deion Sanders, and I don't think that there's one way to live life. I think that you can be very successful living life many different ways, and clearly Deion Sanders has been one of the best football players to ever play. He's so far been a successful coach being him, so keep being you. My only thing is win some football games. If you stroll your ass out there and you win 4 games again, is you gonna have some hell to catch from everybody else, deservedly so, because you ain't winning football games. So my only thing is you can do what you want to do when you popping. As the great Future said, go out there and win some football games, and we won't care.
We do not care.
Definitely, bro. I feel you. I think my whole thing is clearly they're not concerned with optics, and like that's something you would think that somebody who's running that program would be considering. You know, I understand that is his son, so I hear you when he tell you we talk about, you know, replying when people are disrespecting his son, but at the same time, it ain't a good look when you do that as the head coach, especially when everybody already sees you as an opportunist and like, yeah, you just using this to go to your next spot. You don't really give a fuck about the kids, because my whole thing is a lot of these kids, they didn't reach out to these to the Athletic. The Athletic was just doing the story, and then they reached out to some of the kids who went through the transfer portal and asked them their experiences at Colorado. So just like you've been given the opportunity to tell us your whys as to why you went to Colorado, why you do the things you do, it's nothing wrong just from a storytelling standpoint with these kids giving their side of the story. Now,
the Athletic was hating.
No. Yeah, the Athletic is, but the media is always gonna hate on Prime. That was it.
If that was like Nick Saban, they would not have hit up the Alabama people. They was hating on Deion Sanders, and they know Deion is a lightning rod.
They know he a nigga. That's what it was.
He wasn't. You don't. I ain't never heard of no goddamn media company reaching out to college kids like, yo, how was your experience at this school? while they're still in college. I ain't never heard nothing like
Tell
that.
us about all the trucks that Nick Saban took in his time as coach.
Like, I ain't never heard of them like that. If that was Nick Saban, if that was Dabo
Les
Sweetie,
Miles in there. Yeah.
Tell us about the time that he came over there, did the cha-cha slide, and they ain't see them niggas again. Like, we only doing this because it's prime. And like, yes, it's prime opportunities. Yeah, for sure. All these coaches are opportunists. It's a job. At the end of the day, it's a job. So it's like, it's not like these niggas ain't Coach Carter. Like, these niggas are doing what's best for them. And these kids, and Deion's actually doing them a favor by telling them, look, you niggas need to enter the portal right now because you're just not going to make this team. I'm going to let you get ahead of the curve now so you can get settled on whatever new team you're at. So that's just how I feel about it. I feel like with anybody else, we would not care about this thing. But since it's Deion, since we got to pile up on prime, that's what I think. That's what the Athletic article to me was very white woman get this black man for doing too much.
Yeah, because Prime can't do nothing. He can't leave to go to another school. You saw when he left Jackson State. Oh my God, he left. He go to Colorado. I swear to God, if it was me, soon as my son's gone and Travis Hunter gone, I'm leaving too. What other college team want me? Fuck y'all, man. Humble and Deion Sanders that's just no correlation.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen, and they know that. So, but they thinking when he respond or do this and that and the third, it's a shocker to the world. No, it's not. It's not. This is Deion Sanders. I expect this. If he do the opposite, I would be disappointed, to be honest with you.
And also, it's not like Deion, when he loses, he hides his hand.
Yeah,
Deion is his Deion, win or lose. He owns it. Mm-hmm. When they went through that slump last year, did he stop posting videos on Instagram? Did he stop, doing what my theme song is? No, prime is prime 24/7, and that's what irritates them. And he also said this too, and then we'll move on to the next topic. A lot of these people are mad because you can't say nothing about prime playing career.
Yep.
Hall of Fame, best in this position. You can't say nothing. Multiple time Super Bowl champion. You better hope and pray that he don't turn Colorado into an actual powerful institution, because then you really can't stop him. That's what I think all this comes from. It has nothing to do with the kids.
Not even that. Let his son be one of these great quarterbacks. Oh, Prime really gonna be talking shit. I'm a great quarterback. My son a great quarterback. Oh, he gonna be talking shit. He gonna be
somebody told me, oh well, it's gonna be a weak draft if he's the top 5 pick. Why do you think niggas are so QB horny this draft?
Exactly.
They know it's a weak QB draft.
I don't want Carson back.
Like, come on, dog. That's just I like I said, I'm biased, but honestly, this is very white woman. For whoever wrote that article on the Athletic, very white woman, please get that loud nigger over there. That's what I thought when I read that article. But let's go to the next one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like we said, Shedeur, definitely a top 5 prospect right now. We'll see how that plays out. But back to the NFL draft, the draft this year. When we were sitting there at number 9, we were like, we need some things to fall our way. A couple breaks, maybe a shocker. And we got all of the above, especially at number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. They were in the vicinity of picking a edge rusher. Wide receiver was possible even after they signed Mooney, but we didn't know where they were going to go. And they shocked the NFL world when they drafted Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. Now, of course, as we all know, they just gave Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed. It's a 4-year, $180 million deal, but $100 million are guaranteed. So it's essentially a 2-year deal. And, of course, there was a little rumble about him being shocked. They did the pick. They didn't consult him about it. How y'all feeling? Was this a good move by the Falcons, or is this something that's just, hold on, what you guys got?
I want to start off with this one because, nigga, I want to paint a picture for y'all. So I was in the hospital last week, and this is after they got me drugged up. So I'm very high on steroids at this point. So I had to check my phone like 4 times. I was like, I noticed don't say Michael Penix Jr. and pick 8. I was like, we need Rome Odunze. I think everybody knew that Bears were going to get Caleb at 1. It was all about 9, hoping Rome dropped to 9. Because Marvin Harrison went to Arizona, Malik Neighbors went to New York. But when I saw these niggas take Michael Penix Jr., I didn't understand it then. A week later, I still don't get it. And now that I don't think Michael Penix Jr. can't be good. I saw him sling that bitch last year. He was a real good quarterback. You know, he's 45 years old already.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. My bad.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've been off for a couple weeks. Even though he's 45 years old, I think he can be a decent quarterback. I don't understand why you give Kirk Cousins 150 whatever $1 million they gave him guaranteed just to draft this kid at 8. It just doesn't make any sense. And obviously it didn't make any sense to Arthur Blank because you got that GM trying to explain it to him right after they made the pick. So that just doesn't make any sense to me. I thank them for their stupidity for letting Roma Dunze drop to us, but it just doesn't make any football sense to me. If you feel that the injuries are a concern for Kirk Cousins, you should have never signed him to begin with. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And even if Kirk Cousins is healthy, Kirk Cousins is not a quarterback that's going to take you over, you know, where you need to go to become a championship team. If that was the case, they would have did it in Minnesota. So you use that 8th pick on another position. So I just don't get it. I don't know what they're doing over there in Atlanta.
All right, here's the thing I'm gonna say. 2 things. I think Kirk Cousins has something on the NFL. He has to have something on the NFL. Like, that's
He
just
got dirt.
he has dirt on the NFL. It's something. Because here's my thing. This is malpractice. I have no problem with the Michael Penix thing. The pick. The issue is like what other people are saying. It's a 4-year deal for Kirk Cousins. So technically it's going to be a 2-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Because $100 million guaranteed. You're saying in 2 years, this man, technically, to make your money's worth, he has to win you a Super Bowl. Off an Achilles injury. You're basically giving this man money for no reason. You're giving away the $100 billion for no reasons. Like, you could have made your team better. If that was the case, grab another quarterback. If you didn't give Kirk Cousins that money, and you were going to take Michael Penix in the draft, grab another bridge quarterback. It doesn't have to be a great quarterback. It could have been Sam Darnold. It could have been fucking Gardner Minshew. Somebody that he could learn from for a couple games or even a year, and then he could come in. So therefore, you don't have to give Gardner Minshew $50 million for 1 year, or for $100 million for 2 years, or Sam Darnold. This could have been they could have got a 2-year, $18 million deal. It would have been $10 million a year, whatever. It saves you money. You could use this money to get other pieces done, which you need on the defensive line and things like that. So therefore, you're having a quarterback. Now he's got to watch over his shoulder. He has to produce now, because if Kirk Cousins say like the injury, he's still injured, he doesn't look good, now you're really just wasting money. Now, if he go 2 or 3 games and he's looking bad, get Michael Penix in there, now you just got dead money sitting on the bench. It's just malpractice. It was no need for that. If you were going to do this whole time, you should have never gave Kirk Cousins that money. And you're just giving away free money. And I'm glad Atlanta did it because we got it wrong.
I might be in the minority. I might be in the like. Yes, I know you gave the man $100 million, but the man is coming off of catastrophic. Well, something that used to be a catastrophic injury, still very catastrophic. Also, the fact of how old is Kirk Cousins? 36?
36.
Realistically, he got 3, 4, maybe 4 years left in the league anyway. If you see this guy, and granted, and y'all said this like next year, so we quarterback draft. If you see this guy, I know the man that he tore his ACL twice in college, but maybe you think you get him in your system, you work on his legs some more. You know what I'm saying? You can like keep him standing up straight, and you get him in your system, he can like learn. I don't mind it. Granted, yes, you did pay the man mad bread, but obviously he's not gonna be there forever. I also think that like they probably look at their roster and look at the state of like the NFC, the division that they're in, NFC South, and like, well, there's no real great teams in our division. Carolina, trash. Tampa Bay, I mean, whatever. The Saints, whatever. Like, there's no great teams. We do have a good running back. We have the tight end that we drafted couple years ago. I'm not like I know their receiver situation, but I'm sure it's whatever. It may not be great, but it's some guys over there. You got an offensive line. Okay, we still want to try to win and compete and do the best that we can. So pay him the bread, but also we have to secure our future. And we love this guy. If that's the guy that you love and you think that in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, he can be your star quarterback, I don't have an issue. Like, yes, it looks crazy and insane right now, but if when he steps on the field, he actually produces the same way Jordan Love produced, it won't look as bad then as it looks now. So I don't have an issue with it. And then when I look at the rest of their draft, they went D-tackle, they went outside linebacker, D-tackle, linebacker. So they did sew up things like their defense that maybe that they think that they need. So I don't really have an issue with that. Try to win now if he can step in week 1. And also, they may know something about this nigga leg that we don't. Maybe the leg ain't healing right. I don't know. Who knows? They may know something.
But if that's the
case, you should never pay him.
You don't sign. I get what you're saying. Like, oh, Mike, it's nothing against Michael Penix. It's about the business. You're giving away free money. Like, that doesn't make sense. You could have used that money to build your team out even better. That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Like, go ahead, Dante.
No, because I actually agree with Pappy, and obviously it's been a mixed reaction down here in Atlanta. But my whole thing is this: you've seen what it was like to not have a plan in place, and not only a plan but a contingency plan after Matt Ryan. They sat here, they floated around. You had Desmond Ridder. You played with the idea of bringing in Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, all of those guys. But now you have a solid plan in place. And with Kirk, now you have not only a plan in place, you have a backup plan just in case Kirk is not who you think he is. Like if that leg is not healed, you can bring in a guy who you fell in love with throughout the draft. Even though people said they only went to one workout, it wasn't really a situation where they gave him a 30 visit, anything like that. It's just they knew they identified the talent and that's who they wanted. So you've done that, and now also when you look at their last 4 drafts, now you have Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Michael Penix Jr. So your core skill players on the offensive side is locked up, and you can spend money on the defensive side of the ball. We talk about, their defense and the issues they had last season. They still won 7 games. They were 7-10, and they had like 2 or 3 games where they lost by less than a touchdown. So, and with that losing by less than a touchdown, I think one game was like 7-6 or some shit. And you had Desmond Ridder literally giving the other team the ball. So, like, if this offense clicks, they're going to be a 10-win team. Like, this is a team that I could see in this weak-ass division winning 10 games. And with Kirk, I still think I said this when they signed it. This is before Michael Penix. This is a 2-year deal. I don't know who Kirk Cousins thinks he is, but he don't have the leeway to come to a team and be like, oh, yeah, this is my home, and I'm going to end my career here. Nigga, you have 1 playoff win. Like, no, they're not doing that. Like, Arthur Blank, he don't give a fuck about that. He wants to win, and best case scenario, Kirk is really good for these next 2 years. Michael Penix learns the system, and then when that $100 million guaranteed is up, they're gonna talk to Kirk. And if he not talking about restructuring, he's gonna be out the door, and Mike gonna be the starter. So like I think this is about the Green Bay plan.
Here's the thing though, like with the $100 million guaranteed, I think it's 180 for the 4 years. Man, you could have gave that shit to motherfucking Lamar Jackson.
Hold on, wait. Wait. Also, I have a question. $100 million guaranteed. Can we look at the other quarterback contracts and see how much money they get?
Exactly.
Like, question: how much did Daniel Jones get? Listen. I'm not saying it's a good deal, but how much did he get?
He robbed them too. That was
it's just the market for quarterbacks.
But my thing is, this nigga is 36 coming off an Achilles injury.
That's why you draft Michael Penix.
But you don't draft Michael Penix with the 8th pick, bro. That's
gotta take him at 8.
But they know it was 3 teams. And
listen, this is what I'm saying. And then they didn't even do their due diligence on Michael Penix. They talking about, hey, we just had a 30-minute
right, yeah, they didn't do a top 30.
See a man come in there and throw the ball 80 yards. Shit, bring me in.
They said the man
Wilson did the same thing, and guess where he's at.
But Zach Wilson did that indoors. Yeah, he did that indoors in a practice facility. They said Michael Penix was outside in Washington, 50 degrees, wind blowing, slinging that bitch like Matt Stafford.
And I like Michael Penix. This is nothing against him. This is the organization. This was a bad move. What I'm saying is, if this is in your mindset, you shouldn't have gave Kirk Cousins that type of money. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, you can't give him that type of money. Give him a 2-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Worth 60 mil or some shit like that. You just can't just give up that type of money for some, I hope, like, this is a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins. They, like, because now it's like, hey, y'all took this nigga at 8. If Kirk Cousins fucked up, hey, put this nigga in, he's at 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he got to look over his shoulder, and now he has to get to the playoffs and win playoff games. Michael Penix is going to be good. I really do. I like him better than JJ. I like him better than Drake May. But I'm just saying, like, for the Atlanta Falcons organization, that was just malpractice, bro. That even the owners looking at him like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
But now they came out and said that. They said Arthur Blank, he co-signed it. Like Arthur Blank knew what was going on. Like that
Arthur
video
Blank
was
don't know
funny,
what
but
the
they
fuck going
said Blank was cool with it. But I think, bro, with the Falcons, like I said, if it pans out, it's perfect. And also, this was a situation where they didn't want to be stuck with Bo Nix. They didn't want to be Denver drafting fucking Bo Nix. Like, because if we keep saying trade back, I understand, you know, that Minnesota traded up to JJ. Like, but no, bro, you have to get your guy if you believe that guy. And maybe it is as simple as, you know, they went to his workout. Granted, they had already signed Kurt, but they went to that workout and they were really blown away. And they like, nah, this is gonna be our guy.
Besides the Atlanta thing, did anybody think what Minnesota did to go up one spot was reckless as well? Like, the Jets was not going to take JJ McCarthy. Why are you trading up one spot to get him?
Maybe they heard that the Raiders, but maybe they heard that the Raiders had talked to the Jets and they was going to leapfrog them to get the quarterback. Because, like, I don't think nobody wanted Bo Nix, bro.
I'm keeping it real with you. I don't think nobody wants JJ McCarthy, but that's a different story for a different day. G. I'm straight on that, man. I'm glad
they gassing that. They gassing that pick real big.
They gassing him. He finna give us 4 picks. He finna give us 4 picks. He's giving up 4 picks, guaranteed. I already got a bet going on. That man, JJ McCarthy, is giving us 4 picks. Watch JJ. You gonna see the other JJ finna be like, man, get me out of here.
JJ McCarthy probably not even gonna play the midseason though. Darnold is over there.
I know. He ain't gonna beat out Darnold.
He not beating out Darnold. But go ahead. Let's go to our number one, and then we're gonna get into some more NBA topics with the second round coming up this weekend.
Yes, sir. So, you know, the Los Angeles Lakers are headed to Cancun. You know, the season is over, unfortunately. You know, they had a chance to win every game, and they blew every fucking game. And, you know, okay, air quotes, as Pappy said, you know, but now we starting to see the dominoes start to fall over there. Darvin Ham was dismissed this morning, as well as the rest of the offensive staff or the assistants. So there will be a new coaching staff in Los Angeles for the remainder of the LeBron James era, however long that will be extended to. So what's your thoughts on Darvin Ham being fired, and where do the Lakers go from here?
My thoughts is Darvin Ham was a scapegoat. Darvin Ham was a scapegoat. Now, granted, I'm not saying Darvin Ham was Phil Jackson. I don't think Darvin Ham was some all-time great coach. But, like, let's look at what he actually did. The first year you were the 7th seed. You had a whole bunch of injuries, but you end up being a 7th seed. You go all the way to the Western Conference Finals. You get swept, but it was a very, very close sweep, and you lost to the defending champions. This year, I think they won 47 games. The West was uncharacteristically good this season. Like, I think Phoenix won 50 games and was the 6th seed. So the West was just a really, really good conference this season. You play Denver. Like you just said, you had a quote-unquote chance to win every game. You go 5 games and you lose to the defending champions and you get fired. Let's also look at the roster. First and foremost, LeBron getting how a max. AD is on a max. D'Lo getting $20 million. It don't really leave you too much money to fill out the rest of the roster. You have to fill out the roster with minimum players. You went out and signed Jackson Hayes. Shout out Jackson Hayes, but the Pelicans let him go. You went out and you signed Taurean Prince. So shout out Taurean Prince, but the Timberwolves let him go. You bring in Ruri. Shout out Ruri. Ruri is a worse version of Kyle Kuzma, who you traded to the Wizards. He's a worse version of that. And you go. So I like, number one, I don't think the roster was that great. You go out and pay Gabe Vincent, he literally dies. Like, literally, you paid him on a 3-year deal. He comes in and dies immediately. So I don't think the roster, I think the roster was one injury-ridden. Vando, he couldn't even go half the season, couldn't go in the playoffs. Christian Wood, you sign him, he get knee surgery. So I don't think that the roster in general was that great in the first place. I think it was maybe better than the roster that they put together last year, but I don't think the roster was that great in the first place. And I think Darvin Ham was a scapegoat for a lot of organizational decisions that they made. Number one, I don't know why you go and hire a rookie coach to coach LeBron James in the first fucking place. He didn't hire himself. Rob Pelinka did that. Also, Rob Pelinka is the same person who you won a championship with a defensive team. They didn't even have a top 10 offense the year they won. I think they were like 12th in offense. They were number 1 in defense. You have a defensive team. Then the next season after you win a championship, you switch out Dwight Howard for Montrezl Harrell, and you switch out, I think it was Caruso for Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder's solid, but you switch the whole composition of the team. And then the next year, you go and get Melo with other offensive players. Frank Vogel ain't never been a good offensive coach. From the time you seen the man, first known the man in Indiana, the man has been a great defensive coach. And you go switch the whole roster out and give him offensive players. Who did that? The organization and Rob Pelinka. Darvin Ham didn't go trade for Russell Westbrook. He didn't go trade Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who is a key cog on another championship team, being the Denver Nuggets, who just beat you.
The one who smoked you 2 years in a row.
2 years, like right. he 2 years in a row. He didn't do that. The organization did that. So I think Darvin Ham has been the scapegoat for a lot of bad organizational decisions. Granted, do I think he was a great X's and O's coach? No. I think even the thing when he was in the huddle talking about keep going harder than them boys. Salute is hilarious. It's funny. But I think
what about on the clipboard when it didn't have a play on there? It just had like 4 names. That's
we ain't ducking no smoke. We ain't ducking no smoke.
Also, the thing about coaching LeBron is like it's hard to call plays for LeBron because he's such a big entity, right? Like LeBron James plays a game for the most part. He plays a game one way. You spread the flow, pass the ball, get some shooters, run pick and roll, do whatever, and that works when you're still at the peak of your powers. But now, when you have other guys who can stay in front of you and offer you more resistance, it doesn't work the same. So a lot of these things is you build a roster around Bron, but you don't have the same LeBron James that was in Cleveland. If this was Bron from 2018, this shit wouldn't even matter. They would have won 55 games regardless and still be playing in the playoffs right now. But Bron isn't that Bron anymore. So, again, I think Darvin Ham is a scapegoat for a lot of things that the Lakers organization did in general. As far as where the Lakers go from here, I don't know. You sign LeBron James, get a new coach, win 47 games, sell some tickets, lose in the first round again, and whatever. As long as Bron is on this team, I love the man. But as long as Bron's on this team, taking the max is the thing. If Bron want to take less money, then you can build a roster out and give him some more help that he may need, especially at this age to win games. But if you go out there and take the max, then this is what you're gonna get. So my thing is, I think Darvin Ham has been the scapegoat for a lot of bad organizational decisions that the Lakers have made over the past few years.
He's going to take the max because he need every dollar he need to get that motherfucking Las Vegas team. That's one.
I don't disagree.
He needs that. But so with the Darvin Ham thing, the only thing I do, like not the only thing, but one of the things I do agree with you on is the fact of you can't have a rookie coach coaching a veteran team. You know what I'm saying? Like Darvin Ham is more of a speaker than a person that's, doing plays. Like he needs to go coach like Brooklyn, Charlotte like that, get those guys up and running, going and stuff like that. You don't need to call timeout. I don't think it's necessarily what just happened that got on fire is over the few years. Like for people that's watching the Lakers games and stuff like that, like even after the in-season tournament, they went 3-10. They just looked horrible. And when Reggie Miller said it, Reggie Miller was frustrated that Darvin Ham wasn't calling the timeout. So then most people, if you look on the internet, most people are like, well, obviously Reggie Miller hasn't watched a lot of Laker games because that's not what Darvin Ham does. He calls the timeout too late. You know what I'm saying? But I also always say I think he doesn't call the timeout because what the fuck is he going to say? What the fuck is he going to draw up? Like you said, he's playing with LeBron James. He doesn't know how to draw up anything. So I'm not placing all of the blame on him, but in this situation, like it's a lot of things like Darvin Ham. Come on, like Austin Reeves checked himself in the game in Game 5. He checked himself in the game. And this goes to coaching right here. I don't care what coach it is. Anytime if you lose a 20-point lead, that is on the coach. I'm a firm believer of that because somehow, some way, you have to stop the bleeding, stop the crowd, call the timeout. I don't care what no one say. I'm always going to say that if you losing, listen, when Ty Lue gave up a 31-point lead, bro, you telling me you can't get a bucket?
It was, but hold on, wait. That 31-point lead was fool's gold. They shot 71% from three. You're not gonna shoot 71% from three for the whole game.
That wasn't going to
Exactly.
Like,
So you make adjustments. We knew the worst thing between that Lakers and that Denver series was halftime. Halftime was the greatest factor in that series. Whoever halftime is, that motherfucker was the MVP because we knew after halftime, that nigga Mike Malone, who's a great coach, and I'm gonna tell you this, Denver is one of the best all-around teams I ever seen in my life.
We gotta relax.
No, I'm just saying, an all-around team. They play, they roll, bro.
That's fair.
Like no one's bitching. No one's bitching about minutes. They setting picks. They on the ground. Hey, KCP, you gonna shoot the three? Fucking Aaron Gordon crashing the boards. Murray, you gonna do this? Like
and Mike Malone will get on their ass, boy.
But you want to know why all of this works? Because you have the best player in the NBA.
Yes, absolutely. And Michael Porter Jr., that's the only Michael Porter Jr. ain't seen a shot he never like in his life. And he gets away with that shit. He shoots it. They say that's one thing he's gonna do. He's gonna jack it up. But the worst thing that happened to the Lakers was halftime. And halftime because they were getting out coached. It's just plain and
lost to
simple.
a better team, bro.
Yeah, and they lost to a better team, but they lost to the better team because also the team had the way better coach. That was a big gap in coaching. And that's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so if you put Phil Jackson on this team, they beat the Nuggets?
No.
I'm not saying it won't look like.
So what are we talking about?
No, I'm with you.
Hold on.
It would go 6.
If you up 165 minutes to their 50-something, they will win it. If you gave them said like, hey, you're going to be leading 70% of the time, and you damn near got swept. That's
but look,
it hasn't happened in 30 years.
But look, the reason I slightly agree with the if you blow a 30-point lead, it's on the coach thing because I call as many timeouts as I want. Y'all niggas still got a hoop. I call timeouts. I can switch rotations. If you niggas are shook, you niggas are shook. Ain't nothing I can do about that. If y'all can't play defense, y'all can't stop these niggas. That's not 100% on the coach. I'm not gonna say that Darvin Ham's a good coach because he's not. But this roster, Rob Pelinka, Rob Lowface, that nigga, the blood is on this nigga's hand.
Criminal.
Okay? Yeah, it is.
They've been. It's like they about to be on Coach 4 in the Rob Pelinka era. You know, outside of the intramural championship they had 4 years ago, them niggas ain't really done nothing. Like he needs to be fired. That's the nigga who decided, oh, I'm gonna take this one good year from Austin Reeves. I'm gonna get this nigga $60 million that he gave him last year. Like we're gonna double down and just act like Rui Hachimura is a Jokic stopper because he played well on him in one game. And then let me go get all these other bench niggas. Like the bench is overrated in the playoffs, bro.
Yeah,
everybody kept talking about depth. Everybody kept talking about depth. Yeah, everybody kept talking about depth during the offseason. I'm like, none of that shit matters come playoff time. At the end of the day, you're right. It's LeBron James is old. And I'm not mad at Anthony Davis. I talk a lot of shit about AD.
He played great.
AD had 76 games this year. He balled out and he was busting Jokic's ass. Now, Jokic was busting his ass too, but he was busting his ass. And so there's nothing you can say about that. You can nothing say about that. And even if you look at the last game, when AD got hurt and LeBron told himself, oh, damn, I got to score now. He has to get himself into a scorer's mode because he's old. So it doesn't really matter coaching or not. Like you said, Pat, if LeBron is on this roster, this is just how it's going to go.
Darvin Ham wasn't the reason why Aaron Gordon kept getting all them goddamn offensive rebounds. That was fucking Bron's fault because he didn't want to box out because he probably out there tired as hell because he's 39 years old. That wasn't Darvin Ham's fault.
Now, we'll say this. They lost game 5 because of Darvin Ham. Them niggas was winded.
Yeah,
towards the end of that game.
Timeout.
Them last couple possessions, bro. Niggas was out of breath.
Right. If you have listen, we all know. What you just say? Bron old as hell. What you say? Bron old as hell. What you say? Bron old as hell. You have to use the timeout for this old ass nigga. You can see that he's gassed, bro. Listen. It's on the one thing they say that's going to beat this man is motherfucking father time. He can't do what he think he's going to do, bro. Like his mind is saying this shit. His body's saying, no, bro, shut this shit down. He needs the timeout. Darvin Ham left the game with 2 timeouts in your pocket in the playoffs. That's crazy. In a close game, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's somebody, but like you said, Rob Pelinka is doing nasty work. He's doing that sort. Frank Vogel would have never got fired if he didn't switch out defensive players for offensive players. That's just plain and simple. He literally, like Pat said, he switched out defensive-minded players for offensive-minded players. Montrezl Harrell is an offensive-minded player. Terrible defender. Couldn't rebound. Now there's no more Dwight Howard. You know what I'm saying? You had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee there for the banging and stuff like that, pause. And AD didn't have to do that. Now AD is the main center, and you got Jackson Hayes, who doesn't know how to play basketball. Like, this is real life. Like, D'Angelo Russell, oh my God, is one of the most talented, dumbest basketball players I ever seen. Yeah. The best game he played was the last game, and he shot bad. He was hustling on defense. Other than that, if he can't hit a shot, he should be playing in Rucker Park somewhere.
It's like I don't know. Y'all probably remember this on The Last Dance when they were getting ready for Game 7 against Indiana. Ahmad Rashad told Michael Jordan, "Some can, some can't." That's D'Angelo Russell. Some can, some can't.
D'Lo went on the podium and said, "If I'm not making shots, I'm not much use to my team." What
are you doing?
What are you talking about?
What are you doing?
There's so many other things to do in the basketball court.
But guess what? D'Lo is obvious. Look, first time it's the lights, bro. First time with the Lakers, they got rid of him. You go to the Nets, no pressure. He going crazy. He goes to Golden State. They said, this nigga can't play defense. Get this man off our team ASAP. He didn't even
right away. He didn't make it to All-Star break.
They said, oh, hell, Draymond and them was like, oh, hell no, get him out of there. He go to Minnesota, does solid. It's no pressure. It's Minnesota. Come back to LA, that nigga forgot how to play basketball, bro. That's what it's the pressure. G, like you said, he goes up there and say, hey, if I can't hit a shot, I'm useless. Well, I can't blame him for that because that's right. That's the most 100% shit I ever heard in my life. If D'Lo can't hit a shot, he should not be in the NBA. That's just real shit, bro. He's a hooper. He's not a basketball player.
Yeah, it comes down to this, and Dante can take us to our next topic. Only Dante gonna get this reference because only me and him watch Succession. Jeannie Buss is like if Shiv Roy would have took over Waystar Royco. She is not her daddy. Okay, it is that damn simple. Jerry Buss would have cleaned house. Remember, she didn't want to fire Luke Walton, so like she got a track record her goddamn self.
I told you ever since, God bless his soul, but ever since they signed Kobe to that contract, the Lakers have been one of the worst run franchises in the entire NBA.
And
outside of LeBron James just signing there.
LeBron is like mama mentality, nigga, because y'all finna pay me too.
Yeah,
he get a 2-year, $100 million deal.
I'm taking
y'all finna pay me off for niggas coming to these games.
He's not finna let Kirk Cousins make more money than him, G. That shit just not happening.
Absolutely not.
That shit just not happening, G. No, sir. And he want that no trade clause. His ass old as hell. Like somebody want a 41-year-old. Yeah, they might still want that nigga.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely, bro. But like you said, let's keep it moving. You know, it is time for Weekend in the Association with the Bro Patty. We do this every week. You know? And so let's get into our first topic, bro. The Milwaukee Bucks. They are now out of the playoffs, and now it's time to really reevaluate their future and what they're going to do going forward. We know that they did sign Doc to a pretty large contract. We got to see what they're going to do with Dame, with Giannis, and the rest of that roster. So, Pavi, what you thinking right now, bro?
I mean, obviously, Doc is there. Dame is. I mean, for them, really, obviously, this season was just a season from hell. We have a lot of like weird things that was going on this year. But, you know, one positive, Middleton looked good in the playoffs. Like he looked like he was back to being a Chris Middleton that we've always seen. I think the interesting thing for the Bucks is I feel like you have 1-2 timelines. I think you have to get younger and you have to build. I think they're stuck in between two teams. They still have the like Drew Holiday, Giannis, Middleton squad, which was a more defensive-minded squad, and now you bring in Dame and you want to switch to a more offensive-minded squad, but you still have like some of those remnants of that squad. So I feel like they have to like get younger, switch the team a little bit. Obviously, Brook Lopez is 36 years old. I don't know how much longer he has to go. Shit, Giannis seemed as like young as he used to be. I think that we kind of overlook it because like Giannis is one of the younger guys in the league, but he ain't young. Giannis like 30 years old. Dame 33. So you got an older team. You got to get some other guys that fit in with those guys, and maybe you got to make some tough decisions about some of the other guys that fit with the last iteration of this squad. But I don't think it's like a disappointing loss because they was just hurt. But at the same time, this is becoming a trend now. the last 2 playoffs, Giannis done been hurt for him. This one he couldn't play. The other one he fought. The other one, obviously, it was more of a freak accident. I think both of them was freak accidents, but the last one was more of a freak accident. You just fall out the sky and hit your tailbone. But either way, you was out for 2 games. You came back. You clearly couldn't like really maneuver. But I don't think it's a catastrophic loss for them. I think you can go into the offseason. You can kind of analyze this season. You're like, all right, we got Dame. Dame still look good. Like, I think that Dame can at least give you 1 to 2 more years, barring injury, playing at the way that he was playing this year. He still look good. He'll have a little bit more familiarity with Giannis. Like, even when they made the trade last year, I think the trade happened in like August, if I'm not mistaken. So like it was kind of later in the year. Well,
it was
later
a late trade. I think it was September.
Yeah. Like it was like a week before training camp.
Yeah.
So like you really couldn't like alter your roster for real. Like you was kind of like set in your roster. You couldn't really alter it for real. Like this time they're there, they're on the team. Everybody know that they're gonna be there. Even in the offseason, maybe they can go work out together and do things. So I don't think it was like again catastrophic loss for them. But I think that this is obviously a 2-year window, and you got to start to fix things and figure out, okay, who are the pieces that could fit with this next iteration of this team for the next 2 years? Because that's really all you have is a 2-year window. Like, again, Giannis is old. The way, I don't want to say his body's breaking down, but the way he's, again, been hurt for 2 offseason. And he missed a lot of games this year, too. He played like 68. Usually Giannis is the guy who plays a little bit more than that. Dame is older. Like I said, Brook Lopez at 36. Middleton ain't no spring chicken. So you got maybe 2 more years, 1 to 2 years where you can figure this out. So I just think that they got to figure out this next iteration of what this Bucks team will be.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I think this is just shaky warrior time for the Bucks. I think for a couple teams in the East, man. I think a couple teams in the East are at a crossroad right now. And if I'm the Boston Celtics, and they can win this championship this year, J.R. Baines said this a couple weeks ago. If they can win the championship, these niggas might be able to like set up for at least some dominance in the Eastern Conference to be able to go to the finals every year, because Philly's got question marks. What are they going to do now? You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of cap, but where's that cap going to? I keep hearing about Paul George. If y'all niggas been watching Paul George, that ain't finna fix nothing. If that was the case, these niggas wouldn't be facing elimination in a couple hours. So I don't think that's going to help nothing. With Milwaukee, it's less about them playing together and more about, can Giannis stay healthy? I'm not really worried about Dame. Dame is a loyal nigga. We know he don't like Milwaukee. This nigga wanted to go to Miami, but he's not going to force his way out of there. He wants to win a championship. He knows this is probably the best situation for him to realistically win one. But Giannis, like you said, it's becoming a trend. This nigga's been hurt every year, including the year they won the championship.
Yep.
He was hurt that year. So this is something where we talk about Embiid always being hurt. Giannis is always hurt. So that's the biggest question mark for me with this team. I know Giannis is like to push the pressure on the front office, and we don't know if he's going to leave. If this nigga keep getting hurt, it ain't going to fucking matter. That's why I put it at as far as that. And then if you look at another team like Miami, love Jimmy Butler. Hey, man, whatever happened in the NBA Finals last year was the end of Jimmy Butler. That nigga is never going to look like what you saw him in the playoffs again. And if y'all niggas plan on giving him a $200 million contract, y'all out y'all damn mind. So there's a lot of teams right now that are in the same boat as the Milwaukee Bucks as far as shaky future. But the Bucks is, to me, is a little more of a question mark, because this is supposed to be like Giannis's prime, where he's like doing all the things and stacking up all the accolades. And not that he doesn't have accolades, but I really thought that first championship would open up the floodgates, and we really haven't seen that yet. Go ahead, Mike.
I think we like underestimating like the importance of Drew Holiday, and saying what defense is.
I said this shit before.
Yeah, I like they gotta find somebody on the perimeter that can stop getting past these niggas. Like, I love Dame, you know what I'm saying, but like you said, as wasn't never the greatest defender as it is, man. As you get older, the first thing I tell people, the first thing that's going to leave on these players is the defense abilities and the offense. Like, if you're a bucket, you're a bucket. You know what I'm saying? But that defense slows the fuck down. And that's where the issue was. They couldn't stop no one on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? Then you got a team like Indiana. I know the Bucks was injured, but you got a team like Indiana that's on the perimeter, shoots all over the perimeter. You know, you got everyone launching threes from everywhere. The pick and roll, they're going nuts on everybody, and Giannis is not there. So Giannis is definitely getting hurt more now because they're going to the rim. So now it's a lot of more contact and things like that. It's hard to defend it. But the importance of Drew Holiday is like really, really, really hurting them. Now, Is it an easy fix? No, but I don't think Milwaukee's so much out of it. You know, so I still like, you know, way Bobby Porter said, like Pappy said, I love, you know, Dame still got 1, 2, 3 years left in him, but you just got to have another player, another two-way player that could give you, you know, 15, 20 points every now and then. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have that consistency. You had, you know, Chris Middleton still doesn't look, he's just really getting back. And then it took him 2 years to fully look like he's back to his old self, you know? And that's the issue. When everything relies on the stars, that's when that role players, they got to step up. We just saw Tobias Harris just lay a goose egg. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting all this money, and now everybody say, oh, he's a solid third player, but now you're looking at it like, man, he looks like just a regular role player that's getting paid all this money. So, but Boston can go on a run, but I still think Milwaukee, injuries happen. Anybody get injured. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate that happens. I don't want nobody to get injured, but Milwaukee's still one of the best teams in the East and, you know what I'm saying, in the NBA. You know, it's not like they're dropping from the power ranking. They still a top 10 team, in my opinion. They had a lot of issues and still finished out, third? And they could have finished second or whatever. So they still can do it. I never did like the Doc Rivers move. I don't know why Doc gets so much praise, but I don't think Milwaukee's falling back. They're going to get another year with Dame in this system, working with Giannis, and they get them another piece. I say they go defense, and I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be really interesting because one thing about the injuries, one thing we've seen with a lot of guys, when they continue to get hurt and it starts to compound, it becomes an annual thing. And then that's when you start to get worried. So, like, I am concerned with Giannis getting hurt every year in the playoffs, even though we've seen him, you know, heal faster than most. As he gets older, that won't happen. So I'm interested to see about that. The role players around him, like we said, you know, we saw Pat Bev nut up at the end of the game. That was wild as hell. But you're gonna have to make some changes. Talk about that. Speak on that. I'm gonna ask everybody that, but go ahead.
Man, look, man, I love Bev, but you're a fucking idiot, dog. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, my nigga? Like, and then somebody's like, well, he's done that all year. You can't do that, bro. Like, and like from optics, look. When you have the media rally around the person, number one, even if you're doing this to a man, you can't do that. But against a woman, like, you're going to lose every time, and that's after you threw the ball twice at some niggas in the stands.
After you did it twice.
Because allegedly, they saying he was throwing to that one dude. He was throwing to that one dude, hit the woman, then asked for the ball back, and then tried to throw it at the dude he really wanted to throw it out. Yeah, so he was.
If they didn't hit you with nothing, bro, like everybody parent, they don't touch you. Why are you touching them? It doesn't matter what they say to you. You are getting paid millions. Fans are going to say, "Fuck you, you a bitch." This and that. Like, come on, bro. Like
it comes with the territory, bro.
Like, bro, that's your job. G. Be a professional, bro. Not like when people be shocked like, "Hey, nigga, you banned for the year. They suspended for a year, G." Like, what's the difference? You hit somebody with the bat twice. Like, come on, bro. Unnecessarily, bro. Like, I'm not calling for nobody to lose money, stuff like that, but bro, you're going to hit the fan twice.
Don't make it easy for Adam Silver, bro. Don't make it easy for Joe Dumars. You know, Joe Dumars be coming down heavy on players, bro.
This the type of shit that might impact Bev NBA career.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
34 years old. Ain't like going out there averaging 20. We can definitely replace your hustle. We can definitely find somebody else who can hustle and hit a three. That ain't irreplaceable. Oh,
like, we know you're knowing and stuff like that, but that's just overstepping it, bro.
Too far.
Like, that's just too far, bro. I couldn't believe that shit. I'm like, man, come on, bro.
Yeah, I was like, double take. What you say, Pappy? Go ahead.
I just want to say just one last thing I want to say about the Bucks was I think what they really need is a bigger two guard. I think their backcourt has been too small forever. Like, you got Dame and you got Malik Beasley. And they was running with Dame and Pat Bev. Like, that's just too small of a backcourt. I think you need a two guard that's more like 6'5" to give you a little bit more size in your backcourt. Now, how you gonna find that? Don't ask me, but I think you need a guard that's like about 6'5".
And I just want to say this, and we'll move on to the next topic. Or Dante can finish up your thought. My fault. I just want to say this as we're getting ready for Caitlin Clark's preseason debut. WNBA tweeted tonight. The time is now. Tune in to watch Caitlin Clark. She makes her debut against the Dallas Wings. And a nigga tweeted. There's also Angel Reese, Camila Cardozo, Elisa Peel, and JC Sheldon making their rookie season preview. Stop doing that shit. All right. We know they make it. Like if somebody, if a nigga put up, oh, tonight, LeBron, Jokic, and nigga say, hey, don't forget, Paolo Banchero going head to head with Donovan Mitchell tonight, niggas. Like, come on, bro.
It's because they need to stop treating. This is gonna sound horrible, but they need to stop. They need to stop treating the women like they're women athletes and just like they're athletes.
Yes,
And the
but
Bucks treat them like they're women athletes, so they treat them like they're Make-A-Wish kids.
They do
Yeah.
know, but see, niggas is
That ain't
doing
horrible.
this.
That's facts, though. That ain't horrible. That's facts.
Niggas, what I mean by niggas are doing this because they want to act like this white woman is just getting the love because she can't hoop and she's just white.
She can
hoop, my nigga.
And I'm not going to
And
lie. Her and Angel Reese, I've seen the Angel Reese hoop. That shit's not impressive.
It's not. It's not.
Caitlin Clark can hoop.
That's Joakim Noah and LeBron James. What are we doing?
Bro, that Angel Reese shit, I'm like, Shorty really can't hoop.
Like,
She
come on,
got
dog.
15 rebounds because she missed all her shots and she just got the rebound over everybody else.
Bro, that's like,
Caitlin Clark is actually coming up the court, putting that bitch behind her back and pulling that bitch, bro.
Mike,
I'm watching Caitlin Clark, bro.
Mike, that's like McDonald's saying, hey, man, come get our new spicy McChicken sandwich. And niggas like, hey, y'all know y'all niggas got nuggets, too. That's not what niggas is fucking promoting, bro. Like, what are we doing?
That's fact.
Yeah, nah.
That's fact.
Let's not do this all season.
The pandering is going to another level. Like we know that there are a lot of other women in the W, and we're gonna support them. But like Caitlin is a star.
They know what we want to see. I don't want to see Angel Reese hoop. That's a fact. I want to see Caitlin Clark. They were saying, oh, Caitlin Clark not gonna be able to do this in the NBA. I mean WNBA. They're saying this. These are WNBA players saying, oh, she's not gonna be able to do this. She's not gonna be able to do it. We know Angel Reese is not gonna be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not going to be a surprise. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see the
depth of
Caitlin Clark. She's going crazy. Go.
Mike, who's going to be the first rookie they promote week 1 of the NFL?
Caleb.
Exactly. That's like niggas saying, hey, don't forget Malik Neighbors playing.
He might be on Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. Like what?
Like don't forget Malik Neighbors making his debut, niggas.
Oh, JJ McCarthy. No, like what the fuck? Like to see him throw 4 picks is crazy. To see JJ McCarthy on natural television throwing 4 picks is insane. That's what we're finna see. Angel Reese shoot 4 for 17 and have 19 rebounds, and people gonna go crazy. You know why she had 19 rebounds? She was 4 for fucking 17. She got half the rebounds off offensive rebounds, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Hey, man.
Y'all seen her play?
Hey man. I'll just say this, dog. The Sky had a pick before her too. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yes, and she's way better. And she was better.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. But go ahead, Dante. We can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, nah, bro. So man, we still got a couple first round series to wrap up, but a few of the second round series are already set. And one is like a real throwback, blast from the past type of shit. We got the New York Knicks will be facing the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks, great defense. Indiana Pacers, high octane offense. So it has a 90s vibe to it with just a modern twist. So how y'all feel about this series, and who do y'all got? Well, we can save our picks. We'll save our picks. But how y'all feel about the series?
We'll save our picks for the end of it. I'll say this. First of all, have any of you niggas seen the second of Cavs Magic?
Yes, I have. It's a really good series, actually.
Yeah.
Good series,
I watched 2 games.
Okay. I've seen a couple highlights.
So it's go Paulo. I'm a Duke fan.
You can tell me that they came up with the cure for cancer in this series, and I'll believe you. That's how much of that series I've seen. They hit that shit on NBA TV. But anyway, I think that this series is going to be a nice little old school, early 90s type field type series. Reggie's going to be calling some games. Spike's going to be there. One thing I love about the Knicks, fuck you, Pappys. I knew you were going to say this about, well, they're a legendary franchise. Mm-hmm. I like how they have all the legends there. Now, it also made that Game 5 loss 50 times funnier.
It made it funnier.
When they rolled that nigga Pat Ewing at the house and them niggas lost. That shit was funny. But I think that the Knicks, they're a fun team. I love how Madison Square Garden, to me, is the best atmosphere in the NBA right now. It sounds loud on TV. So I can only imagine what it's like in the Garden for this. Having said that, this can be a 6-game series. I think it's going to be 5. Because the way the Pacers played in that series against the Bucks, without Giannis, without fucking Dame, honestly pissed me off. And offensively, yeah, they put up tons of points, but they're not going to be able to guard what the Knicks have. They're not going to be able. It's going to be a long series for Tyrese Halliburton trying to guard Jalen Brunson. It's going to be a long series for them trying to guard all those other guys. So I think once you take the actual nostalgia out of it, I don't know if it's going to be as entertaining as people think it's going to be, but I do think it's going to be something that's cool for the Knicks, something that's cool for the Pacers. Pacers ain't won a series. I didn't know this is their first series win in 10 years since they beat the Wizards when Paul George and David West was there. So it's good to see these new see these old franchises back in there. But if I'm the Boston Celtics, nigga, I'm motherfucking count my money like nigga. This finna be a nice little snooze fest to the finals because I don't think neither one of these niggas can touch Boston. But I'm gonna go with New York in 5 in this one.
I'm going.
Go ahead.
I'm going with the Knicks to win this series just because I think that the Pacers can't guard the Knicks and the Knicks can guard every single thing the Pacers want to do. Jalen Brunson might break the Madison Square Garden all-time scoring record for a game in this series. If he was given fucking the Sixers 41, what is he going to give the Pacers? I don't even want to think about what he's going to get the Pacers. And I think that they would have an easier time scoring. Obviously, like granted, Embiid, I don't think he played the best series offensively. But especially in like a game 5, he still was a presence at the rim. Like if Joel Embiid does this, he's a massive human being. They don't have any of that. I mean, well, no, Miles Turner is solid, but like he's not Embiid though. So I feel like their presence at the rim isn't as good. I think they'll have an easier time scoring the basketball. And yeah, I'm with you. I think it'll be a 5-6 game series. I don't think the Pacers would be in this situation if the Bucks had any of their star players.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think they would be in this position. I think the Knicks literally earned their victory, and they're missing their star, and they're missing people. They have people hurt. So I think that that the Knicks, we gonna get a Knicks Celtics conference finals. And yeah.
Ooh, I mean, my bad, man. I was gonna say New Yorkers finna get hit with a nice cold of nice racist reality in that next round, boy.
Yeah.
If you niggas think y'all putting up TD Garden, all right.
It's only 2 ways the Pacers gonna win this, and that's if they hit the Indiana Fever up and said we get Caitlin Clark on the team. That's the only way. Or if fucking Julius Randle come back and get to shooting 4 for 19, shooting them bricks. Right. That's the only way they're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? And you was about to say the Knicks missing a star in Julius Randle. Julius Randle.
I was like, no, they're not.
He scores the nastiest 24 points I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god! It's a 5-game series. It's just you know what's crazy? Josh Hart is going to lead the whole team in fucking rebounds. This nigga can rebound, bro. Josh Hart is a bit. I looked up one time. This man, his over. I know you a bet. This man over be like 11 for rebounds. I'm like, damn, Josh Hart. But Josh Hart be out there hustling. And like Scott said earlier in the playoffs, man, it's a 7-man rotation. 8 max, you all playing 40-something minutes. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, Indiana just don't play no defense. You know what I'm saying? They're going to hit some threes and make it interesting and stuff like that. But just a better coach, better defensive team, better grinding team, just a more physical team. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to slow it down so that it's not no run and gun. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Jalen Brunson is finna give you this 51 in the garden slowly too. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be nasty. I mean, as nostalgia-wise, like, okay, yeah, the Pacers. I honestly can't stand Reggie Miller commentating. I'd rather take Chris Webber. I'd rather take Chris Webber. I'm not going to lie.
No.
I'd rather take Chris
No,
Webber.
hell no.
Reggie just corny. Chris Webber actually reads like, a nigga who can't read in class.
Okay, fair enough. But I'm still straight on corny. I'm still trying to get rid of both of their ass there. But, yeah, it's the Knicks, and it's easily. And then Knicks going to lose in fucking 6 to the Celtics. So
yeah, but nah, bro, I agree. I got the Knicks in this series. I think it's gonna be a very exciting series, though. I think just the play styles, the clash in play styles, despite the fact that the Knicks can still put up points, even with the way that they play defense. I think that's gonna eventually gonna lead to Indiana's downfall. Like we all said, if the Bucks had their full roster, they would have probably got smacked in 5. But the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, I think he's gonna give us one of those Michael Jordan type stat lines. I think, matter of fact, he is the last person since Jordan to score 40 in 3 straight playoff games.
That's insane.
Yeah, so that like the type of numbers he was putting up, especially since he doesn't shoot a lot of threes. It's fun to watch, and we always talk about how everything is turned into just the analytic battle, but you see a little old school in this game. But I probably got the Knicks in. I say Knicks in five, Knicks in an exciting 5 games. But I think, like he said, it's gonna be dope to see the Garden rocking because it's definitely gonna be rocking.
I'm be rocking up in there, Mike, I know, Mike, you said you got to go about here, man. So, Mike, tell them about the, sale you guys got going on right now.
Yeah, got to get up out of here, man. Love talking with y'all, but we also got a sale going on. Visit the website. We got like suits for like $70, $60, $90, like full suits. Check out the website, club.co, not .com.co. So pillarsclub.co. Appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir. We got 2 more topics with Pavi before Pavi gets up out here. The homie Mikey be joining us in a minute. Local hour is free this week. So the local hour will be live streamed on here. So don't turn the channel. And we will be talking about all Bears. If you niggas thought I was on my deathbed and didn't think I was gonna talk Chicago Bears football, nigga, you got me fucked up. Shout out my nigga Caleb. That nigga Caleb first of all, Caleb, I'll say about the Caleb. We'll get to nigga. That's a nice nigga, bro. And I'd say that Justin wasn't nice. There was many times that I would come up to Hallis and this nigga would give me the death stare. Many times this nigga would give me the death stare. I walked up in there. I'm like, yo, Caleb, what up? How you doing, man? What's going on? Like, this nigga's just like he's an energetic nigga. Like, I felt like Day up in Friday Night. Like, I like this nigga. I like him. Man, this nigga just like the nigga got like real leader vibes, bro. Like, so he got real leader vibes. I know I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but we'll talk about that in a local while. But let's go to this next series, which I feel is going to be the real Western Conference Finals here. And that is Denver Nuggets going on against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I will say this about Mr. Anthony Edwards, man. First of all, this motherfucker is exactly what the NBA needs. Not just what the NBA needs. This is what America needs, nigga. Enough of these European niggas.
Literally.
This nigga ain't got no felonies. He don't love guns like Demetrius.
We just love Atlanta.
He just an Atlanta ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he left the arena, but he got that dog in him too. Like I love how, first of all, we got to give love to Karl Anthony Towns. You know what I'm saying? Like Karl Anthony Towns has been in this team it's crazy. It's been about a decade now. It's about next year be his 10th year. For him to take his talent, and I won't say dumb it down, but when you've been a face of a franchise and a younger player comes in, sometimes there's friction. And you can really come in and see that he really he fucks with Ant. And he comes in and they just gel right away. And so when he told him, like, yo, I told him, like, yo, we need you. Like, you can see the leadership when he's at the podium. And this is why I knew the Ant was a killer. And then Cat was like, well, I'm just trying to play defense. He's like, nigga, stop fucking fouling. Now that's when the Jordan Kobe came out of him. But I thought this last series was first of all, I gotta say this about KD. KD gets a lot of shit, but KD just look like one of your homies. But that nigga just love hoop, bro. Like he don't care about none of the fucking storylines. Everybody want to talk about his legacy. He was proud to see Ant, coming back at him. When Ant was talking shit, he laughing. In the post game, he's like, yo, I love what I'm seeing, fam. Looking forward to playing with him in the next round. But Ant really stepped up, put the team on his back. And this is a new era of Timberwolves basketball. Because like you said, even though the DLC is the host, that's funny as shit. I do sound like DLC. But with this new era, like you said, Pappy, these niggas ain't won a series in 20 years, bro. Like the last time that the Timberwolves won a series, I was a freshman in high school.
The young Jeezy hadn't dropped Thug Motivation 101.
Nigga, I don't even think Urban Legend was out yet. Or it just came out. It's like been out for like a month. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how long ago it was. So, and then even last year, the Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets said no team pushes harder than the Timberwolves. Last year, they didn't have Jay McDaniels, who had a hell of a series this year. They got a deeper bench. So I don't think that they're going to win this series. But it wouldn't shock me if this goes 7. I have not been impressed from what I've seen from the Denver Nuggets. Like any team that doesn't have a 40-year-old as their best player probably beats them niggas. You know what I'm saying? It said Urban Legend came out in November 2004. Yeah, so it wasn't out yet. Urban Legend wasn't even out yet. Last time the Timberwolves won the series. So I just feel like when it comes to this, they're gonna be ready for this. And the if the Nuggets think they're just going to go in there and go through the motions, them niggas gonna find themselves in a situation. So I'm gonna take Nuggets in a 6-game series, but I think it's gonna be entertaining. I think the winner of this is gonna represent the West in the NBA Finals.
I'm going with the Timberwolves to win the series, man.
Mm.
I don't think this Denver Nuggets roster is as
I
good
like
as
that.
I'm not somebody. I told you, I don't think this Nuggets. Like, granted, I'm not saying that they don't have good players. They have starting five is really good. They have quality starters that will start on any team. But top to bottom, man to man, the Timberwolves are just better. And they can, and the Nuggets have never faced a team that guards as well as the T-Wolves do. They got bodies for Jokic. You got Cat. You got Rudy. Now Rudy not gonna stop him, but you're not just gonna go out there and just abuse Rudy for like 7 straight games. That's what you're not gonna do. And granted, I love Ant. I think Ant has been incredible. But I think he's been incredible. He scores when he needs to. But the real story all season for this team has been the defense that the Minnesota Timberwolves have played. They play some of the best defense I've ever seen a team play ever in my life. Like, I saw them live, and the way they was closing out the shooters, reacting, going here, closing out here. I've never seen no shit like this before. Jaden McDaniels is a bona fide defender. Ant can guard. Conley can guard. Nickeil Alexander-Walker can guard. Obviously, Captain stepping up defensively. Rudy, and again, I've said this many times. Rudy Gobert was winning Defensive Player of the Year, and nobody else was on the all-defensive team. Do you know how hard it is to do? Do you know how hard it is for you to win 4 Defensive Player of the Years and nobody else on your team made all defense?
Yeah, you got to do all the work.
This is what happens when you finally put him with actual people before him who can guard before you just funnel everybody to him. Now, like, he getting played off the court because you ain't getting fucking beat all the damn time. So I got to run from the paint to here, to here, to here. And again, I think they can guard everything that they do. But I think the real separation will come in that 6th to 8th man range, right? You got Naz Reid, 6th man of the year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, been incredible this season.
Yep.
Kyle Anderson. And you look over Denver, you got Reggie Jackson. Shout out Reggie Jackson. But you got Reggie Jackson.
Hey, dog. I my voice, it sounds better now. My voice was cooked, but nigga, I was trying to yell, take this nigga out the game in game 5, bro.
You got Reggie, you got Christian Braun. DJ gonna have to play in this series because they got big bodies. Like, just that separation. Like, even if the starters play to a draw, which I actually don't think they will. I don't think Jamal Murray going out there and scoring 26 on them. No, you was doing on D-Lo and them. You ain't going out there and scoring 26 on them. We gonna see that you not Kyrie Irving to us. You ain't Kyrie Irving to me.
You ain't Kyrie Irving to us.
Kyrie Irving to me. When Ant on you, and we could throw Jaden McDaniels on you, we could throw some other people on you with size. We could throw Nickeil Alexander-Walker on you with size and length. You ain't gonna do all that. And again, Jokic's gonna do what he do. But I've seen the thing about Jokic is you need bodies to at least affect him, right? Yeah. You got bodies. You got Rudy. You got Naz Reid. You got Cat. You got big bodies who can at least affect what he wants to do. So, man, I'm going Timberwolves in 6, man. Like, I think the Timberwolves have a real shot to get to the finals as long as the Clippers can somehow beat Dallas and Kawhi can, I guess, come back healthy. But again, we can't sleep on OKC, man. We cannot sleep on OKC. I know that people look at what OKC is doing and kind of like, because they swept the Pelicans, because, like, Zion wasn't there. But OKC ain't bad. But as I said, I'm personally going with the Timberwolves to win this series. That's my pick.
We'll get to OKC in just 1 minute. Mikey, what's going on, bro?
What's the word? How y'all feeling today, man? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, dog. Niggas say I sound like DLC.
You sound crazy.
I do. But it's playoff time, nigga. I'm out here, nigga. And it don't. Like I said earlier, like, I know it sounds like my vocal cords being crushed. This is the first time in 2 weeks that I can talk without feel like it hurt. So we're making some progress on that front. But what you think about this upcoming series starting tomorrow night, Nuggets and Wolves? How you see this one going?
Oh man, that's gonna be a really, really interesting and close series. Kind of like Pavi said, I could see it going, 6 and even the full 7. The T-Wolves have the length to keep up with the Nuggets. Jamal Murray's been, hooping out of his mind when it matters, late to close out games. But let's see when they start throwing somebody, when they start rotating bodies on him and making it hard on him, as far as, testing that hamstring out. So, Gobert and Jokic is going to get his, but, when it comes to crunch time, I think Rudy Gobert and them are going to be able to lock down. I'm still going to ride with the Nuggets. I still have the Nuggets going to the finals, but this is no cakewalk. So I'm interested in seeing that series, and then obviously I know we'll get into it later, but I want to see who the Thunder match up with.
Yeah, no, I feel you, bro. I've been going back and forth with this one because I've been talking about the young guard and the guys coming to really, stake their claim for everything. Fuck. I'm gonna go Timberwolves. I'm gonna go Timberwolves in 7. I think this is a series where, Pavi, one thing I got to give you credit for, bro. You really been one of the few Rudy Gobert defenders for years, and like when you watch
Years
Rudy
and
Gobert
years and
play,
years.
G, when you watch them play, G, it's so many plays where Rudy affects the play defensively, and it's something that doesn't go in the box score. Like whether it's him just being able to stay vertical and redirect the shot, or somebody trying to come to the basket and Rudy just flat, like faking at him, and you would see them redirect to a completely different spot and just fuck up the offense. So it's so much he does that, he doesn't get credit for. But like if you actually watch this team, that's the one thing about the T-Wolves is they play defense, bro. Like they are really all over the place. They swarming. And I think that's going to eventually be too much for the Nuggets, even with the Joker and his amazing, basketball IQ and his ability to, get his players in the best position to get buckets. I think it's going to come down to a point where they just don't have enough. And I think, like we said, the fact that the players on the Timberwolves who get buckets can also play defense is going to be the biggest factor for them. And that's why I think, like I said, it'll go 7. If it ended in 6, I could see that too, but I'll say T-Wolves in 7.
That will be interesting, man. That will be interesting. Let's go to our last topic and get Pavi up out of here. But New Orleans, not New Orleans, but the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 1 seed in the West Conference. They just got done. Was it a sweep? Did they sweep New Orleans, or was it probably
they swept them.
Swept. As Charles said, they probably in Galveston, Texas, instead of Cancun, which was funny as hell. But one thing that I've paid attention to about at least the first round, granted, it was no Zion. I don't think anybody really expected nothing from the Pelicans in that round. They looked very poised. They didn't look like they were intimidated by being in the playoffs. And they're just real cool, calm, and collected, which kind of matches up with the kind of player and kind of personality that SGA is. My question to y'all, and I'm gonna go to Pavi first. We keep talking about the Wolves and everybody, everybody prepping them up as the next team. But this is a guy in Shea who probably could be MVP. This team is way better than a lot of people thought they were going to be. Can they be the ones who can come out the Western Conference? Are they at the point where they're actually underrated and people aren't taking them seriously as a number 1 seed?
Yeah, I think they're underrated. I think number 1, between him and Luka, whichever way you want to pull it, and if you want to say Shea, I ain't mad at it. Shea, the best point guard in the NBA right now. He giving you 30. He's also, I think he led the league in steals this year. So he also defends. Like, he's a guard shooting 50% from the field. That don't really happen that much. Like, that's a very rare thing. So he can really, really score the ball. They play a stat. I think that's hard to guard because, Chet can shoot. And Chet is also a legitimate rim protector. And for the most part, unless he plays against like Jokic, he's probably not going to play against a bid that's going to punish him because you don't have many bids in the league like an Embiid or like a Embiid because he be wanting to shoot threes that really get down there and really punish guys. So yeah, I think that they're kind of underrated at this point. Like it was a reason they won 57 games. It's a reason Shai Gilgeous-Alexander literally might win MVP. Yeah, I think they're underrated. They can also guard. You got Lou Dort, you got Jalen Williams. Like I said, you got Shea. I think the one thing I worry about is Josh Giddey getting played off the court, but you got Isaiah Joe who can like shoot threes really well. Like I'm not sure it's a foregone conclusion that whoever they play in the second round would just beat them. If it's the Clippers, I would think that the Clippers would be able to beat them. But with the way that they be playing, especially if Kawhi not healthy, I don't know if I want to put money on that. I don't know if I want to do that. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that they're just going to lose in the second round. And I think that they have gotten to the point because they're so young. And again, we don't expect young teams to, really break through like that. And I think they are underrated because we look at their age and we're like, oh no, they need to lose first. But it's like, what if they don't need to lose first? What if this team is actually good enough to make it to the conference finals? And if I'm not mistaken, I think they hold the tiebreaker over both Denver and the Timberwolves, meaning they beat them multiple times this season. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I know they hold the tiebreaker over the Timberwolves. I think they beat the Timberwolves every time. It was either the Timberwolves or the Nuggets that they beat every time.
Both of them, because that's how they got the number one seed.
Yeah, because I think they beat Denver every time they played. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think they beat them every time they played, or it was 3-1 or something like that. So yeah, I mean, like, yes, I do think that we are at the point where people are underestimating this basketball team because of their age.
We've got Vacation Bang here.
Oh.
What's going on, nigga? You gotta get your phone off mute, dog. There we go.
No, I knew it was on mute, man. I was waiting.
Okay.
I was waiting to unmute, man. How y'all doing?
We doing good, man. I sound like DLC, but I feel good.
Yeah, you do sound like the DLC fan. You sound like Doc Rivers.
I do. You and Mikey's ancestral land right now?
No, I'm actually past that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We are almost by Miami.
Okay.
So you back so you went from one of Mikey's stomping grounds to the other, huh?
There you go. There you go. I like it in Puerto Rico. I got a budget of $5 million. Gonna buy me a bed and breakfast.
That's crazy as hell.
Motherfucker.
But what's going on over there with you, dog? What's going on?
Man, kicking with the old heads, you know what I'm saying? All of the old heads is out here. It's the last day.
I think you broke up.
Oh, damn.
Wait. Okay. Oh, no, I think you have the people back there said that Drake need to get in the fucking booth.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the word on the boat?
Oh, no, there's no word on this boat because these niggas is old.
Okay.
In fact, I was the person that played it for damn near everybody. So that was funny.
Nigga told Bobby Brown, look at this nigga cook buddy.
Fam. Hey, fam. It is very interesting to see these old heads when it comes to the acts that they grew up with. It lets me know that these ladies was very fast when they was growing up in like 1975, 85. And it also lets me know that dudes was pervs. So like it's wild out here. But Pav, I heard what you were saying about the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I don't necessarily know the question. But I've been, on the boat looking at some of the games and everything, and they do seem solid. I don't know if they're gonna win or get past this second round. But if they were to get past this second round, I would not be surprised to not only see them in the finals. It would not shock me if they win it. I'm still not sold on Boston. I think that the Knicks is ready to let New York down right now. So, it's this to me, this finals, and we've been saying this for the last two. Anybody can win it. I think that this is the year where that is really true. I mean, even though Denver looked good, they look good against the Laker team that they should look good against, right? So I'm very interested to see how the second round goes, but this is definitely one of those years where anybody could win it. And it's been exciting. This is the first time in a while that I've really been excited while looking at playoff games in some time, because it feels like everybody has a chance to win it, but things are now starting to get interesting. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And while we wait on Scott, off the rundown real quick, we got 2 games tonight. Who y'all got tonight?
Well, I'm gonna pick the Clippers because I just think that I actually don't know why I'm picking the Clippers, but I'm gonna pick the Clippers because hopefully I'll be at Game 7. And as far as Cavs Magic, I'm gonna pick the Magic, man. I want this series to go 7, and I really want the Magic to win this series. I think the Magic would serve slightly a little bit more opposition for the Celtics just because they can guard. Like they're really, really long. They can guard. I also think it would be just a cool story. Like Paolo was another one of those guys. So I think that obviously the jury's out on him because he's in his second year. But the jury's out as far as like, are you just like one of those 10 to 15 guys, or could you really be a top 5 player in the league one day? So I'm gonna pick the Magic because I want to see them win. And I know Jared Allen is out. I know even like last game they had a chance to win, but Paolo took a really dumb 3. And Evan Mobley had like a really good block on Franz, so it was a really close game. And I think the home team has won every game in this series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So back in Orlando, I'm gonna pick Orlando to win tonight, and I'm gonna pick the Clippers to win for no actual obvious reason. But they sounded calm in the press conference at Game 5. They sounded calm and chill. All these guys have been in this situation before. I know a report just came out that said they're still looking to build around PG, Kawhi, and Harden. Obviously they're still looking to, and they're going to bring Ty Lue back. So I don't think that there's this level of like, if we lose tonight, it's some catastrophic loss or something like that. So I think that calming thing will help them get it back to LA for Game 7. If they get it back to LA for Game 7, I think that they can take that game. And also I think the Mavericks defense has been incredible, but like I don't trust it 7 straight times. I'm going to pick the Clippers, and I'm going to pick the Magic.
I'm going to say for tonight, I'm going Magic just because I just don't like Donovan Mitchell. Like, he's a – like I know Knicks fans be thirsty for him, but why? Like what the fuck does Donovan Mitchell bring to the table? Like, at all. Like, he's not bad. The nigga ain't really necessarily good either. Donovan Mitchell just there. So, like, just off the strength of Donovan Mitchell, no actual basketball analysis, I just don't like Donovan Mitchell. And I would prefer to see Paolo or some of these younger players on the Magic go to the next round over them. But as far as the Clippers, man, it's the Clippers, the same shit the Clippers always do. Like, we're not really shocked by this. We didn't see this team this season. Kawhi, it don't really matter how many games he plays now because the nigga still gets hurt at the same time. So this series can go anyway. I can see Dallas winning it tonight. I can see the Clippers winning tonight, and then whatever happens in Game 7. But I'm going to go with Dallas in general, and I think Dallas versus OKC is going to be a fun series. But I do think that OKC can probably beat them. They can probably beat them because nobody talks about it because we all love Luka, but the Mavericks do a lot of smelly shit as well. And so that's something to me why it stood out to me from watching this series. But I'm going to go with the Mavericks tonight to close it out.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mavs to close it out, and I'm going to go with Orlando to take it to Game 7. I agree. I think the Orlando Surge, not only just because they have a better matchup with the Knicks, I don't want to see the Cleveland Cavaliers on national TV. It's just not a team that is just very visually appealing, and it's like, you know what? We can send them niggas home. No disrespect. But, hopefully Orlando can push this to a Game 7, so I'm going to go with Orlando. And I think the Mavs close it out. The Kawhi situation is unfortunate because he was hooping for the bulk of the year. Like, he was really hooping, playing back-to-backs, playing every game. And for his body to, take a turn for the worse at the worst possible time is something you didn't want to see. So, with that being said, I think it's over with for them niggas. And look, to get ready for the Intuit Dome. So, I got the Mavs in Orlando.
Yeah. I think that's it for the NBA. We're gonna get into our local Pavi. We appreciate you coming on as usual. Let them know when they get in tune with you. You got some stuff dropping soon.
As always, man, you can follow me on Twitter at Pavi World, PAVY World, all one word, Pavers.com. Go stream my music. Yeah, I got a song dropping soon. I'll tell y'all what it's called. It's called If She Wasn't Engaged. So yeah, look out for that. And
very hilarious title.
It'd be like that when you get older. So look out for all of that, and thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
Definitely, man. Definitely. We'll holler at you. We here for the local hour. Local hour is free today because we're just gonna do it free. It's Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might as well. And there's a lot of Bears content to talk about. As I said at the beginning of the show, I appreciate y'all for holding it down for the draft special. I enjoyed watching it back. Very high when I was watching it. I was very entertained by you guys, your reactions to the night and things going on, man. So let's just get right into it. It's been a week. It's been a week since since the draft has happened. Caleb and Rome have had their press conferences. I was there, and shout out to the catering at Halisol, even though it fucked me up and pushed my recovery a couple days because I wasn't supposed to be eating spicy shit, but it wasn't nothing else up in that motherfucker, and I ain't ate for like 9 hours at the time. So let's just say it was a long weekend. But let's just talk about the fallout from that. I want to go to Mikey first. What was your feeling? Obviously, we saw you on the show, but what was your feeling the night of the next day, and how you feel a week later, as far as like all the optimism that's been flowing as a Bears fan?
Oh man, I think we all knew Caleb was going to be the pick. We have been feeling that for a couple months, and once we got to the end of the season, I think the writing was on the wall. My initial reactions, I go, pick by pick for the Bears. I was actually really happy to see Caleb cross that stage and to see the personality that he had, to see his level of excitement. You can tell that that's somebody that worked hard to be, pick number 1-1. And for all of he doesn't want to be in Chicago, everything, he dispelled everything perfectly, from the excitement, from the taking pictures with the crowd and the guy that's dressed up like the Bears, to the custom chrome heart, Chicago t-shirt. Like, that's somebody that wants to be here. So for me, I felt really proud to see him cross that stage and know that, we possibly are entering, hopefully, knock on wood, that we have a franchise guy, because we see it. The talent's undeniable. It's just translating that to the next level. So I was super happy, with Caleb, as far as just what I saw, his overall excitement and, the joy in his face and being drafted by the beloved. It started to get, a little dicey, because I think we all wanted, Bang, Dante, we all wanted Neighbors of Rome. It was Neighbors of Rome. So, once Malik Neighbors went, we were like, shit, okay. And the whole trying to, not check on Twitter. Plus, we're all watching it and, in different cities and in different time zones and on different streaming networks. It was kind of hard. So that shit was funny watching it back, trying to tell Courtney, like, don't ruin it. But when they took, when they went offensive lineman for the Chargers, I figured we had a chance. And then when the Titans went O-line, I figured we had a chance. And it was just, man, please, 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 please don't let somebody either jump Atlanta or don't Atlanta, take Roma Dunze. So seeing Roma Dunze fall, right into the Bears' lap, my feeling when I went to sleep and I woke up the next day was like, I can't believe this is real. Like, for once, we talked about it on the show. For once, the Bears didn't pull the goofy and, trade back to get more draft capital, or, like, they just went and they stuck with their board and they took the best guy. And even though they went and they put in resources and get into Keenan Allen, and you got DJ Moore and you got DeAndre Swift, they still went and added to the offensive side of the ball and getting, a special prospect like Roma Dunze. So I was happy. The draft couldn't have gone any better for the Bears. You add a punter. Some people say it's an arrogant pick by taking a punter. For me, I just look at it like, we're just getting better. Like, Buddy got a boot. So, getting that, and then Austin Booker, defensive end. I've seen a lot of him watching the Big 12, and I think that he's got somebody that has the potential in year 2, year 3 to really pop off. So I'm glad with the draft. I don't think it could have it couldn't have gone any better.
Go ahead, Bang. What's your take on it?
Okay. Man, I've never been so excited to be a Bears fan in my life. To the point where when I got on this boat, first of all, the whole city of Chicago, old heads are on this boat. Let me just say this: the Chicago contingent of the Time During the Morning show, well, the Time During the Fantastic Voyage, is lit. And everybody was talking about Caleb Williams to the point where Maddie, my employee who I had on the show, is light skinned with a beard and some Williams. So they geeked, and I'm geeked too. The punter thing, whatever. We draft a punter, but when you look at that punter's track record, when you have somebody like Pat McAfee who is basically saying like, no, I understand people would trip for drafting a punter in the fourth round, but I think you need to understand that this was a punter who affected games. This was a punter who who was playing for a team whose offense was not hot, they have to win their games through special teams and defense. So you add him onto this team is all about field goal position. Field position, excuse me. And when you look at great having field goal position that will field position that can help you affect the game with the defense that the Bears is expected to have, that pick is worthy as long as he does his job. I do like all of our picks really. I think they have now help on that offensive line with homie from Yale, Austin Booker. There was a lot of people that was hoping that the Bears would get a defensive lineman with that pick that the punter had, but they came back into the draft and addressed that need. So they really addressed, to me, the majority of the needs that they were looking for with not having a lot of picks. Needed quarterback. You had the opportunity to pick the best quarterback in the draft. You got that. You got with somebody who's arguably one of the best wide receivers in this draft class. Some people have him ranked just as high, if not higher, than Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. You have a punter, which was in need because Trenton Gill was huff. And you come in and you get a developmental defensive end. And you still got money. Free agency's not over. You have the whole offseason, including training camp, to see what you have. So I am very excited about the team at this point. And also, I don't know if you guys saw, I read an article while I was here on this boat that they was kind of funneling plays and stuff over to Caleb Williams. Don't know if that was true or not. With Waldron and the organization that they was working with helping
Yeah, it was
Caleb
true.
Williams.
It was true.
Yeah.
It was true
Okay,
because dude
so
who was with the QB Collective. If you haven't seen,
yeah,
it's a good interview on 6-7 to score. So basically, NFL rules, they were able to like have communication with Caleb like once a week or some shit like that. So Caleb's been kind of in the playbook already. Working with him because I guess dude is like his separate QB coach or some shit like that. But
yeah.
yeah.
So even that's the advantage of having the number one pick. So with that being said, he comes into the season not only the best quarterback that we've drafted because he's number one, but he comes in more prepared than any other quarterback that we had because we knew we was going to get him, and he knows the playbook already. So I am very excited to see what's next for us.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm with y'all, man. I think it's the first time as a Bears fan where it's been legitimate happiness and what's the word I'm looking for? Optimism. When I went to that press conference last week, which I had no business going to because if you thought my voice sound bad right now, nigga, at least it don't hurt right now. Last week, nigga, it hurt when I was talking. But the feeling in the building, this is my fourth year covering the team, was a different feeling. And even the most pessimistic Bears media members were cheesing like some goddamn kids last week. And you can just feel that energy in the building. It felt official. Caleb is not somebody who shies away from these things. I'm not saying that he's going to come out light shit out right away. We don't know. He's a rookie. But I feel for the first time as a Bears fan that right away, I think they got it right.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got wrong, that to me proved that this is a new era. And I say that because peak Bears would be, we got the quarterback of the future. Now let's go get a defender. You know what I'm saying? Let's go get let's go get one. You double down and you'll get you a rookie wide receiver, even though it wasn't a need. You've already got DJ Moore. You traded for Keenan Allen, but you're like, yo, we're gonna get that. And to hear that Ryan Poles had to be talked out of trading up to get Rome means that he was already on their number one to begin with, man. And I'm just excited. The schedule's gonna come out next week. Streets have told me it'll be Thursday. And I really think you're going to get a heavy primetime presence from the Bears. Dan Wiederer kind of echoed my sentiments. He thinks the Bears going to get 5 primetime games this year, which is, I think, 5 before the flex options. And a lot of people are going to see this team There's going to be a superstar spotlight element to it. And you already see it with Caleb. Caleb's everywhere. I mean, the nigga got drafted 48 hours later, he courtside the Laker game. And that's just really what you see from him. And I don't know if the Bears, I think the Bears front office is ready. That's one thing I did take from that. I think they're ready. And I think it's time for the city to get ready because I think it's going to be a very, very fun year.
Hey Scott, before I get out of here, because I got to go to this dinner, there's two things I want to add to this. First of all, the only thing I don't like is this bear claw shit. Not with the bear claw shit.
Not with cracking the five.
I'm not with the raw shit, nigga. This is I'm not with the reptile on rug raw shit. But also one of my mentors here at the gig turns out that she's personal friends with Ian Cunningham. So before I even got on the boat, she was like, "Yo, are you happy?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah." She was like, "Well, guess what? I know Ian Cunningham." I said, "Man, tell Ian Cunningham I'm going to miss him next year because no, I'll miss you next year, my G. But thank you and thank Ron Hose and the Bears for us the most confident that we've had sometimes. I think we take certain things for granted.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go up here and act like I'm gonna say we're gonna win 4 games and win a Super Bowl this year. I'm not doing that. Well, I'm gonna stop optimism. And when we drafted we drafted Cade McNown. We still were like, oh, we still fucked because we wasn't in front enough to get Dante Culpepper. And we were not excited when we got Rex Grossman, man. We were excited when we got Justin Fields, but it was tempered because we had of this nigga as our still Matt Nagy. This is the first time where I believe all of the stars are aligned. And you look at an organization like the New England Patriots, where they was a doormat for years. I mean, for years. Other than going to the Super Bowl in '85, they were a doormat. And you look at that organization and you see what has happened. Not going to go on no predictions and say this man is about to win. Existence of a Bears fan, it feels like we have a plan. And the plan is working to a T. Excited to see what happens once they get to training camp, whether they got the handshake deal on the low or not, as far as like hard knocks and shit is concerned, compared to a game in London and all of that stuff. I if I were to make a prediction, it's probably if that shit is true, then the Bears is going to London. But that being said, hey man, I really feel optimistic, and I've never felt this optimistic. Not even the year that they went to the Super Bowl. I never felt this for a Bears team where not only short term, but long term, I feel like we have something. So fuck that that raw shit though. It's still bear down, ho. Bear down, bear down, bear down, ho. Shouts out to the Bears for finally making this right.
I'll say that. Well, they're going to be going to London, period. But I think that I think Hard Knocks might happen. After hearing Ryan Poles speak yesterday, it kind of feels like they know that it's finna drop. That's finna drop.
I hope so. I need quality television.
We know you got to get up out of here, man. So we'll holler at you on Monday.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Yeah,
but Dante, go ahead. What's your thoughts from draft night?
I think it's only right that we echo everything Caleb said, where it's like we're not ducking nothing. We here. Like this is what they wanted to do. They've executed their plan exactly how they wanted to. It's time. Like this Caleb, I have, like I said, high expectations. I expect him to exceed those expectations at the end of the day. I really do expect a CJ Stroud type of season from him, just based off everything he said and everything, and knowing that the way you said, like you said, he's already been getting pieces of the playbook and working with DJ and having throwing sessions with his receivers. Obviously, got to get him in the pads and see what he does, in competition. But with everything I've seen, bro, it's time, I feel, for us to stop being cautiously optimistic and just be optimistic. and just say, it's really time for the Bears to become a true modern NFL franchise. I like Mikey went through all his picks. I agree for the most part. I think the punter is dope because one thing he'll be able to do is flip the field. A friend of mine went to Iowa, so I watched a lot of Iowa games on Saturdays, and they punted a lot. And bro flipped the field a lot. He was at times their best offensive player. So like you never seen a punter with a fucking 8-minute highlight tape. But he has one, and he is a Chicago Bear. Like, I think he's like 6'2", 2 something, but like Australian, Aussie style football player he's a punter, and he's a damn good one. So having him as a weapon on special teams, one thing about the Bears that is, always been partially Bears tradition is that we are good on special teams. Like when these teams are good, we've been good on special teams, good punter, good field goal kicker, been able to flip the field, manage field goal position, and that helps your defense. And so that's why I was extremely excited when we went receiver at 9. Like, because that's what we've been begging for. Like, just overdo it. Don't just do it. Overdo it. Like now we got, like you said, 3 quality wide receivers. You add DeAndre Swift. You still got Roshan Johnson. You still got Khalil Herbert. You still have you had 3 running backs, 3 receivers. Still got Cole Kmet. You added a second tight end. So, yeah. So bro, you got weapons galore. You've added depth to your offensive line. So it's a situation where I'm coming in with extremely high expectations, and I'm optimistic that they will exceed those expectations. I'm not really concerned about the floor because I think the floor with this team is like 8 wins. Like they'll win 8 games, and Caleb does okay. But I think if he does good, which I think he'll do good, if not great, this is a 10-win team at minimum. So I think for me, seeing the draft, us only having 4 picks, and maximizing those picks, not doing anything extra, and I think it's gonna be crazy, bro. But like with the receivers, the versatility, Keenan Allen his route running is insane. We saw what DJ did last year. We see what everybody. We just spoke. Bro just spoke about who's Mazada talking about it, but we see what everybody said about Rome. Like so, the talent is there, the staff is there. I'm optimistic, but I'm extremely excited, bro.
the way Orlando's fucking spelled Hushmanzada, like the way you would say it, Hushmanzada, Menzada, motherfucker typed out Mazda.
TJ, who's your mama? Remember the commercials?
Right. No, I agree. I agree though with everything. Like you said, Scott, I think everybody's overall feeling like it didn't feel real. Like no funny shit. It didn't feel real. Like we woke up and it was like, damn, like we operate in like the right way. Even if you look into when they would show different war rooms with the GMs and everything, it looked like the Bears knew what the fuck they were doing for the first time. So, I think we have every right to be optimistic. And the way I see it, they're just looking for Caleb Williams to be in year 1 just slightly better than Justin Fields. Slightly better than Justin Fields is 10 wins minimum. The way the weapons are constructed and the way they plan on having this team, with the defense returning. So, health is a big factor. You can never bank on people being healthy. Last year, we were relatively healthy for the most part. This year, that injury bug could creep up. But if all things are equal, this team is definitely going to put a lot of smiles on our faces on Sundays.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Caleb's superstar presence, man, because I kind of feel too like this is where like something that I peeped early was this is something that the Bears have never had before, like a superstar on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know if y'all can hear a dog barking in the background. If y'all can, I apologize. Do not get animals, but anyway, this is something I feel like is going to be great for the Bears because one thing that I love about Caleb, as you said, Mikey, too, in your opening statement is everybody's like, why he want to come to Bears? This nigga is proud to be a Bear. Now, do I like the little bear claw thing? No, that's not my thing, but the kids are going to do it. You're going to see hella kids at camp this year doing the bear claw shit. They're going to be wearing the Caleb jersey. It's going to be a big thing. But to have a star on the charter franchise is going to do wonders for this franchise in more words than I can explain. I don't know what he's going to do rookie year. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm not worried about being a bust at all Now, whether he becomes next Mahomes, Rodgers, whatever, we won't know that for years from now. I'm not worried about Bucks. Somebody put up like a Johnny Manziel comment. I'm like, one thing Johnny Manziel told y'all right away. I was doing hella drugs. I was doing hella alcohol. I wasn't looking at the playbook. Caleb is focused. And I think that he knows what's in front of him. He wants to be immortal. This is the place. This is the time to do it. And as far as the Bears, they're going to put him in the best positions to do that. And that's what's so exciting as a fan, because it's like we're not going to our usual, oh, well, I hope the Bears do this, maybe we can win a cup. No, like niggas is going into it focused and know they got a goal. And that's something I felt being at that press conference last week. And he's getting in with the rookies. Like when you heard, not the rookies, but the vets. When Cole Kmet came out and said, damn, I actually felt bad for, thinking the things that I thought about him without meeting him, tells you what kind of guy Caleb is. To have the fact that he called Jalen Johnson like, yo, we good? It lets me know he's not a pussy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you can call a vet who is, I love Jalen, who put a lot of dip on the ship this offseason. And just
he still dropped about 4 picks now.
Yeah,
right.
Jalen Sanders. That's how that nigga been talking.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to say that they're gonna do that and he's out here, training with DJ at the Coliseum, that's the stuff you want to see, man. And I'm just excited about it, man. Mikey, what you think about his superstar, shining already, and like where this can take the franchise?
They better be prepared for it, because they like to operate like a mom and pop shop, but this is not no mom and pop quarterback. This is the first quarterback. This is the first really major college player to come out that had a top 3. I think he was top 3 in NIL money. You know what I'm saying? So this is the elite of the elite. This is and kind of going into that whole Bear Claw situation. Like, it might look goofy to us because we're in our 30s, but for the younger fans and for his brand, he knows what the fuck he's doing, and that is going to be, like you said, something that we're going to be seeing the little shorties doing. We're going to be seeing it probably if they get selected on Hard Knocks. You already see the NFL is pumping it out. The motherfucker's been a Bear for a week and a half, and everywhere he's at, he's throwing up that Bear Claw. So fuck it. You know what? Go ahead and put the world on notice that the Bears are here. So I think it's gonna be crazy. The city hasn't had somebody with this type of personality and like presence socially in a long time. Nobody from that Cubs team was this popular. This is D Rose was popular, but D Rose ain't have the personality that Caleb Williams has. You gotta really go back to
him and Justin had the same personality, damn near.
Yeah. They're just a little stoic, all business, and we love that, but other people, they shine a little bit brighter and they shine a little different. And you really got to go back to Rodman, to somebody that's like, not even like flamboyant, but just like he walks in the room and he's gonna command the room, with his personality. You saw him. I don't even know who these fucking streamers are, but you saw him the day of the draft. He's playing like. He's playing, he got 2 streamers going one-on-one and he's throwing the ball to them and his personality is shining and he's recording and, like that's just who he is. So, Bears fans need to get used to seeing him in the limelight, because if he's anything that we think that he could be, he's going to stay in the limelight. So the endorsements are going to go up, the commercials will go up, the billboards will go up. And it's only going to make, more eyes on the Chicago Bears. Now I'm hoping that we get to the point now where we don't got to be on Twitter and see all these fucking dick riders talking about like, oh shit, the Bears on prime time again. Yeah, we on prime time again.
Oh, these niggas on Monday Night Football again.
Yeah, we putting up 28 points a game, motherfucker. That's why we on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited, and I think he's gonna do really well in the city. The city is gonna embrace him. And kind of go back to what you were saying, like, and what I was saying about seeing him embrace the Bears. You also got to remember, Twitter has become very nasty over the last 2 years, and especially since Elon did the shit with the blue check mark, with the amount of fake aggregator pages, fake pages that could tweet anything, and the amount of fucking idiots in this country that actually believe it. So a lot of the Caleb shit that was brought up was fake. It was nothing. But you can't tell people, what's real or not, because you put it on Twitter and they see it, they be like, oh no, it says it right here, so it's real. So I think he's gonna prove everybody wrong. I'm ready to see what these mini camp photos look like. You see him in his uniform. I'm ready to see the first clip of him throwing a pass to Roma Dunze next week, posted on social. Like the summer to go by already. I'm ready for football.
No, absolutely, bro. And I think it's one of the first times in a very long time with a person who is being placed at the center of the Chicago sports universe, it doesn't feel forced. Like I feel like with Tim Anderson, it felt forced a lot of times. Like, he did his thing. We were good. It was all we came up with the whole, as TA goes, the White Sox go, and all of that. But
He was a
I
front
think
runner.
it didn't. Yeah, he wasn't somebody who really truly
Right.
was about everything he was saying, as we see now. But when you look at Caleb Williams and everything he's done up to this point, he has 100% made me do a 180 on my thoughts of him. Like everything he said about the Bears, like I remember it was a few months before the draft where I said, yeah, it sounds good from the PR people, but we need to hear it from Caleb. Well, now not only have we heard it from Caleb, but we've seen it from Caleb. We've seen the excitement, we've seen the press conferences where he's brought that same braggadocious behavior to Chicago and saying, like I said, then we here, like we not ducking, we here, and he knows what the expectations are, and he knows what it is, and even his answer to Joe's question when he said, I don't see the pressure that way, like he understands. Yeah, this franchise has not had a quarterback, but at the same time that's irrelevant to him. He's here to be Caleb Williams, and if Caleb Williams is everything he believes he can be, then he'll be one of the greats, and then that conversation will change. So I love it. I'm not really concerned with the city because, like we said, we always talk about front runners. If they're winning, they're not gonna say shit to him. He'll be Teflon and be able to do what he wants to do. And even if they losing, I feel like he has the personality to where it's not going to affect him. It's not going to be a Mitch thing where we have to worry about him turning the TVs off. Like he's going to still be Caleb no matter what's going on. But I think there will be a lot of positive things going on, so it won't even be a factor. Like it'll be something we talk about now. But as things start to get rolling, then we'll be like, no, okay, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, and I also think too, like Caleb is. I think last year's USC season was probably the best thing that happened to him because of all the adversity they went through at USC. Now, granted, even though USC is LA's pro team, it's a different thing than the Bears, but I don't think it's going to be something where it's going to phase him. I think he's going to be fine, and I think that's the best thing that you need from your quarterback if you're the Bears, man. Let's go on to talk about actual expectations for the offense. Like, we didn't really actually got to talk about, numbers and stats like that. But Mikey, what do you realistically want to and think you're going to see from this offense in year one? All the pressure's kind of on Shane Waldron now.
Yeah, 100% it's on Shane Waldron. He's going to have to, tailor up a game that I think, Caleb will work perfect in the play action. So I think we might see something a little elevated from the Luke Getsy, kind of like from what we saw from Luke Getsy, a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of play action. But Dante mentioned it. We got 3 running backs that we can run the ball with. We have tight ends as a security blanket. We have 3 wide receivers, 2 of them that we know for a fact know how to manipulate routes, know how to use their hip control, body control, whether inside, outside, and get open in the NFL game. Rome is a rookie. We still got to get him acclimated. So I think Caleb is going to be able to thrive in this offense. I think as long as the defense can stay healthy and they can continue to build on what Flus was doing, calling plays next year, and then you add in somebody like a Torrey Taylor, you're going to get some favorable field position. So I think this offense, my realistic, a project for the, projection for this team is going to be, I say a top 15. I'll be generous. A top 15 offense with a top 10 defense. And you can 100% win with that. You don't need to be top 5 at both to win. Outside of that, for the squad, there's what, 3 extra wild cards? Is it 3 extra wild cards? So I don't, we obviously want the division. You got to beat the division to be good. But I'm not going to put the pressure on them to be division champs this year. The Lions are further along roster-wise, talent-wise, depth-wise, experience-wise, than the Chicago Bears are going to be this year. So I don't necessarily have division or bust goals. Just get in with one of those 3 wild card spots. I need you to be a playoff team. I need you to be competitive. I need, I need close to double-digit wins. And I'm going to say it right now. We don't want to hear rebuilding no more. That shit's done. That shit's done.
Yeah.
We're done rebuilding. Everything going forward is just adding depth. Adding depth. All of the key pieces are in part on offense. The majority of the defense is set. You just got to get you another pass rusher. I think that's something that you can square off next year. I think there's still some vets you can go and get. At very worst, go and get, Yannick Ngakoue again, sign him on a 1-year deal. I think next year they'll go and get that big defensive end complementary piece to put with Sweat. But the rebuilding shit is done. This is just go ahead and win games now. You got the 3rd easiest schedule, last place schedule in the league. You got a rookie quarterback. You got 2 1,100-yard receivers on offense. It's there. Everything is there.
Yeah, I'm going to say, there's a lot of great offenses in the NFL, so I'm not going to throw top 10 on them right away. But in between 12 and 15, I think it's fair. In between 12 and 15 is fair for this offense. It needs to be something where it moves. And even outside the explosive plays, I know the explosive plays are going to be there. What are the down-by-down plays going to look like? Like, are we going to have some, what the fuck is Waldron calling? This is 2nd and 4. Make those plays, make your 2nd and 4 simpler so you're not having 3rd and 8s and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff I'm looking forward to. I want to see a balance. The run game, I believe, is rookie quarterback's best friend. But I don't want it to be so run heavy when we're sitting there like, we got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore and Romaduzzi, and we ain't throwing the football. Use a healthy combination of the two. And I think this offense can, hit all the expectations and even get better than we expect it to get, man. And that's pretty much what I want to see. I want to see variety, and I want to see calls that make sense. Variety, calls that make sense, consistency, and calls that are better after your opening drive. Because Luke Getsy was script king. Matt Nagy, script king. What's your 3rd and 4th drive is going to look like, my G? That's the stuff I'm looking forward to when we get to, training camp. I'm looking forward to see what gets implemented in training camp, because as I think back to training camp last year, and I didn't think about it being a big deal at the time, but it ended up being a big deal. There was not a lot of throwing downfield. It was a lot of dink and dunk and a lot of bad dink and dunking during camp last year. So I'm interested to see what that philosophy is going to be like come for camp this year.
Yeah, and shout out to Braggs, Greg Braggs, because he talked about that a lot. He caught a lot of flack for it. A lot of people say, "Oh, you hating? You don't want to see Justin be great."
Now Braggs on it.
He was like, "Nah, bro. I'm just telling you what I see. Like, the passing game looks bad, and it was bad. Even despite it's crazy. You have a bad passing game. You had 2 people have career years, but I think the expectation for the offense 12 to 15. I feel you, and I hear you with the whole I don't see top 10. Fuck that. I see a top 10 offense.
I'm not saying I don't see it. I'm just saying I'm not expecting it. There's a lot of great offense in the NFL.
Yeah, I expect it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I expected it. This is a culmination of what you've been building. Obviously, as Caleb goes on, he will have better seasons. But you don't like to predict these type of things, but I can see him having a Cam Newton type of rookie season where he really lights it up. Like, because of the weapons, because of the weapons in the schedule we have. So it's going to be very favorable for us. And so as long as he gets in, take care of his business, and stays healthy, that's going to be key. Keeping him healthy, keeping him upright, even though he said he can't play on the move. Playing off script is one of his strengths. But, he's talked constantly about how Aaron Rodgers is somebody he models himself after. And we all watched Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he played off script, but at the same time, he was in that pocket just really just dissecting people. And so I'm expecting a lot of things from them. When you have the wide receiver room, again, the wide receiver room, you have the running back room, you have the tight end room, you have you're set at the skill positions. So it's one of those things where it's like, no, I should see a really, really good offense, no matter what happens.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Last topic, and then we're gonna get up out of here for the weekend. let's talk about areas of concern. You know, we had a great draft. You know, knocked a lot of things out of the park. Offense is pretty solid. Mikey, what's like an area or areas that probably still concern you at least on May 3rd of 2024 with this roster?
I got two. I'll start with one. Um, Tevin Jenkins' health, the health of the O line. Just because Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis are critical component to the offensive line. I worry about what happens as far as if Tevin Jenkins go down, who is stepping in as the as the backup guard there. So that concerns me, and that's obviously something that we won't deal with until it comes up. But throughout his tenure with the Chicago Bears, it's come up every single year. So that's something that concerns me. And the other part is Matt Eberflus. It's all on Flus now. Ryan Poles is giving him everything that he needs on offense. He's giving him his guy at rookie quarterback. He's giving him two 1,000-yard wide receivers, giving him another wide receiver in Roma Dunze, two tight ends, running back. You got what was considered the best available offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron. He got you somebody like Montez Sweat. He locked in Jalen Johnson. Kevin Byard at safety. You replace Bojack. That's a big move that nobody's really talking about. So it's all on Matt Eberflus right now, being able to show that he can, coordinate all the pieces and go ahead and be the, a head coach of a winning football team and not just, 4 games or 7 games. Consistently. Consistently, we need to win games. We need to not be outcoached. And if he's going to be calling the defense, then he needs to be on his shit. There can't be any more of those brain farts like there were, in the Cleveland game, as there was in the Lions game. There can't be any of that. So the health of the offensive line, and then Matt Eberflus, being the final overall piece in the voice that's leading this team. That's one thing that worries me.
All the pressure's on Flus, and I thought that it was very, I don't know, poignant's not the word, but it was interesting that Poles was like, nah, I ain't get that nigga an extension. He said, they're like, nah, I ain't get that nigga an extension. Basically, but still saying he had faith in him. But it's like, Flus, you have all the ingredients now. If you're the CEO head coach, I need you to let Waldron do his thing, and I need you to call that defense the right way. But more than Flus, because I really don't know if Flus is a good coach or a bad coach, my worries are still the front seven on both, like the trenches on both sides, offensive line and the defensive line. I'm not as big on this defense like everybody else is. Not saying that they're not good, and not to say that I don't think they're going to be good this year, but I do think there was a lot of stat padding towards the end of that season, and so I don't want to take that and just automatically expect these niggas to be top 10 next year. I think Montez Sweat's going to really have to earn his check because he's going to be in a lot of double teams this year because he doesn't have a running buddy. Now, you're expecting that Gervon Dexter can take a leap. Zach Pickens take a leap. Maybe you get something out of that kid you just drafted, but there's still a lot of question marks on the front seven. The offensive line is good if healthy. But one thing we've known so far is that Tevin Jenkins can't stay healthy. So that's my fear on both of those sides too. But outside of that, I don't really have that much of a fear because if the offense is putting up points, then the defense don't have to be lights out. If the offense is putting up points, then the offensive line doesn't have to be, just straight up elite. And even though I thought they were decent last year, you can argue some of the sacks that were given up some of them were Justin's fault. So we're gonna see how Caleb adjusts to things like that as well. But for me, it would still have to be the trenches, probably be my biggest area of concern, at least on May 3rd. Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, my biggest concern but probably I can't even say it's honestly the defensive line because I think with a year of Montez Sweat, I think that the people around him will perform better. My biggest concern would probably have to be the offensive line, despite the fact that we've added the depth. Just knowing, how inconsistent Nate Davis was last year. Because even though, like he said, there were some sacks that were on fields, there were some sacks with dudes who just getting blown up, and there was nothing he could do with that. Bates has to hit on center, so we need to see how he performs. But Tevin is his health, and depth pieces are nice, but like we should be past the point, like Mikey said. I feel like I'm in the same breath of if we're talking about we're past the rebuilding stage, we should be past the point of relying on replacement level players to do anything. Like, so obviously, we are still going to. I feel like Poles will still add to that offensive line because he's an offensive lineman at heart. So he'll continue to always look to upgrade that skill position, that skill group. So I think the offensive line is probably my biggest concern. I see what people say about the defensive line, but again, like I said, I think a year of Montez Sweat that'll stop some of that, and of course our secondary will perform better because we'll have more of a pass rush. And I agree with everybody else in the terms of Matt Eberflus. The losses we had, I mean, dropping defensive tackle, the defensive linemen back into coverage. Like games where we would just go into a soft prevent, like we have a powerful offense that's going to sit here and battle with anybody. So just the decision-making process. But hopefully, as he enters this year, he's learned more as a head coach and he's able to switch that up. Because if he's able to do that, then, I mean, the sky's really the limit for this team. So too many concerns, things that I'm just like, oh, shit, that's going to be a problem. And I at this point, I really feel like that's not me being just pie in the sky, not paying attention. I think that's just the truth. It's not too many holes on this roster. And that's why you saw picks like the punter in the 4th round and shit like that. Because I think Ryan Poles feels the same way. Like they're the holes that we do have, he can plug them in free agency, and we continue to just build with the 9 draft picks we got next year.
And he can fill in trade deadline. Trade deadline NFL is actually being used now. And that's how they got Montez. So we'll see. I do think that they're going to sign maybe a vet or two over these next couple months. We kind of hinted at that on Pat McAfee, but I'm just happy about the Bears, man. Like, we're legitimately happy about the Bears. I'm going to be in mini camp next Friday, so don't know if we're going to have a show next Friday because I don't know the schedule yet for next week, but I wouldn't bank on it. But we will be back on Monday. Appreciate everybody for watching. Y'all tolerating me sound like DLC right now, but just wanted to get another episode out to y'all, man. So y'all know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. You follow the Barberchair Network at BarberchairNet. Follow HB Media TV on Twitter, and HB Media on Instagram. Of course, getting to on Mikey at Junior_Solito. Follow Dante at October Zone Tay. Gordon be back on Monday. Bang will be back on Monday, and then we're gonna actually start working on the Hot Corner podcast for all you baseball fans out there, coming within the next week or two. And then also, me and Dante will continue to get back to working on, recording Return to Queens Boulevard. We did a couple episodes and I got sick, but I'm going to take a couple more days, keep drinking tea, and then, get back to respectability. But we'll be back on Monday, man. So y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy the playoffs. We'll holler at y'all.